Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm just pulling up my notes.
You got anything prepared for this? Welcome to episode number 57 of the Keep Up Podcast.
Where we think where is when. That was real sudden. My brain didn't even have time to think.
I tried to not give you time to think.
I mean, that's how the magic comes.
So you're telling me that wasn't something you had written and prepared?
Mm-mm.
All right.
Yep.
Welcome to the podcast. If this is your first time listening or watching, I like to think we're a comedy podcast.
I'm
the
pretty
Pop
sure.
Culture Foundation.
No way. We're
Can
pop
I finish
culture.
a single sentence, Tim? One sentence.
If this is your first time listening, be prepared for
be prepared
for that. Really, just a lot of that.
Remember that song?
Got a little stage fright over there.
No, she totally closed up.
Yeah, she's like, well, just a simple question.
Is this like, it's like a I feel like a podcast vampire is when you can't speak until you're introduced.
Oh, so it's like
Stay
letting
with
them
me.
into their
It's
house. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the invite.
Oh.
Right?
I didn't catch what you meant by that. Okay.
Right.
That's all right.
Is that why you wouldn't speak?
You still didn't introduce her though. So,
She
You
still
didn't.
can't.
Yeah, which that does feel a little funny.
Feels
so
funny.
now
Plus,
she's
I
a
really
werewolf.
didn't have anything to say. So
Well, I was gonna. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, oh, okay.
If a vampire enters somewhere they weren't invited, they don't just turn into
into
something
werewolf.
else.
No, I'm assuming she got to enter because she was a werewolf. She wasn't a vampire at all. You're either a vampire or werewolf.
Oh, I see.
Mhm.
So it's one or the other.
Yes.
So this is the Keep Up.
Yeah, where we sit so casually.
I have to. It's this mic. It's this mic. What would you say to people? Let me introduce. I'm
Okay.
Brett.
I'm
Let's pretend nobody's ever heard it before.
okay.
probably the majority of the world.
Yeah, this is
That's so painfully
that was
accurate.
that was rough. This
He's right.
is-
We don't have to pretend.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'd like
man.
to though.
You. Oh.
Yeah, just in general, you know.
Okay.
I'm Dirty Dan.
Dirty
What?
Dan.
Dirty Dan.
That
This
sounds
is
gross.
not Dirty Dan. This is my brother Tim.
This is Dirty Dan's podcast, where we talk about all things dirty and Dan-like.
And Tim likes to record a podcast within a podcast without warning me.
Don't forget about Frank and Beans podcast on every Thursday night at
Frank
4 a.m.
You haven't heard about Frank and Beans?
I don't think so.
That's our
It's not anything.
it's our alternate persona. If we
not
ever
that.
die, we become Frank and Beans.
That's like a
Is that-
reincarnated.
I was just gonna say,
persona.
is that how alternate?
That's
Well,
how you get
work?
it?
It's
Yeah.
our alternate persona until we die, and then we just become them.
Okay.
It's our second life.
It's not
Our
Earth
second
to you.
Yeah, is it Earth 2?
No.
It's our doppelgangers?
No, our doppelgangers, I'm Brett and you'd be Tim. That would be the big switch. We'd be
I
the
thought you were
same.
gonna be Frank and Beans.
I know.
No, that's Earth 5.
So it is a doppelganger situation.
Farther down the line.
Do you want to
my
introduce
goodness.
our guest, or do you want me to?
You, because you're married.
He didn't even say his real name, and you didn't say your name.
I said his name. I said my name. You're gonna hear it. I said I'm Brett, and
And
then
I'm
He
Tim.
was like something Dirty Dan, and I was like, this is not Dirty Dan. Anyways, our guest
is Jessica.
is curveball again.
Brett,
Is
you
it
just
Jessica? I
is
wasn't
it?
sure.
You should know.
I wasn't sure if I should go full name. I had a whole thing lined up.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Our guest, the scratching wasn't part of it. I heard, all right, scratch your neck and tell me if you hear it in your head. Do it.
What?
Absolutely.
Okay, do it. Did you hear it?
Yeah, it's near your ear.
When I did that, I imagined people hearing that on the podcast, which they won't.
Well, you just told them to do that so they could get like
Oh, that's gross. Don't do
a
that.
3D experience.
It's like nails on a chalkboard.
Is it? It's nails on a microphone.
So are you going to introduce
I
her?
know, jeez.
Yep, our
This
guest is... I forget what I had. I had a whole thing in my head.
Wow. And you forgot it?
Yeah. Our guest today on the Keep Up podcast is dancer, Wonder Woman connoisseur, mother of 2 and wife of me, Rachel.
Oh! And in this corner, we have
No, I
Brett.
did it.
Oh, okay.
I did it already.
Sorry, I got
It's
lost.
not like don't start it over
it's
with
okay.
a different
So 2 weeks in a row,
voice.
she's been here.
All right, let's go ahead. And
1 week, and then
Sounds
another week.
excessive.
Now somebody.
When you put it that way, it sounds very excessive.
It sounds like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is,
One too many.
it's not. What are you trying to say? You don't want to be here anymore?
We've been
See you
here
later.
57 weeks in a row.
Again, with the in
That
a
is
row
also
thing,
false.
I feel
but
like you're trying to gloss over the fact nobody got a podcast last week.
you know what, Brett?
Mm.
Sometimes life intervenes.
Hmm.
It finds a way.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yep.
I want to put all the blame on you.
And it's fine.
But Brett was in Philly.
All right, wife. I was technically back.
Yes, at 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was having the party of a lifetime, so.
Really?
Well, I mean, it was a party, I guess.
I won't press the issue.
That's
Yeah,
fine. I'm
that's
glad you're
it
not.
right there.
So you should apologize to the audience.
I am sorry, audience.
He doesn't care.
I care. I don't think they care.
Maybe not.
Some people do.
You might be right because, as Rachel pointed out,
Mm-hmm.
nobody has ever heard this.
I didn't say
Right.
nobody.
We have 0
just said
people.
majority.
Yeah.
Majority. That's
No,
all.
majority. That's true. But
Mhm.
that's probably true for all podcasts.
Yeah.
Is that true? You think
I
that's
mean, yeah.
Unless you're the most popular podcast.
But even then, has the majority of the world heard you?
What do you consider
Well, yeah,
majority?
you can't flip
More
it
than
to the
50%?
opposite.
All right, everybody calm down. No, majority is just majority of the world. More of the world than not.
So
You'd have to
51%
do
of the world.
The math.
Yeah, right? That's majority, right?
Majority. Yeah.
Technically, that's majority.
Yeah. So 51% of the world has to listen to a podcast for the majority of the world to listen
To
to
have
it.
heard it.
I don't think there are 51%
What
of the world of
is
people
like 6
listening
or
to it.
7 billion divided by 2?
Yeah, Tim.
Divided by 2. Oh, that's half.
Yeah. Never mind. You can't
I was gonna
answer.
do 51. Well, that's 4.5 billion, right?
Oh,
No, because that's 9. It's 3.5
Oh my gosh.
billion.
what's the question? I don't remember.
Half of 7 billion?
Yeah.
Or are we up to 8 billion now?
Oh, I don't know actually. I was thinking 7, but I'm not sure.
I feel like when
I haven't counted recently.
a
Yeah.
figure comes out, that's the thing. Who's counting? Like, I feel like a figure comes out.
Well,
for-
there's the census.
You're the census.
I mean, I try
I just
to
feel
be.
like a number comes out and people just say that number for years.
Yeah, 6 billion was the number for a
Forever.
long time.
And
For me, it was 7 billion. My whole life, it's always been 7
How
billion.
many children do you have?
Every generation gets a billion added to how many people are on the planet.
We should ask your kids, see what they say.
They don't.
No, they'll
They
say
were
like
like
10.
500.
They probably would. That's so funny.
Because that's a high number to them.
It's
So.
got to be like 500. And that will be the biggest number they can imagine.
Can you count to 500?
I don't know what to do with that question at all. I don't even know how to make a joke out of it.
You don't have to.
I don't know if you're really curious.
You know,
I'm not going to do it.
some people nowadays with technology don't know how to count.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. Phone numbers are definitely not a thing people remember anymore.
No, that's true.
How many phone numbers do you
And
know?
some basic math. But counting, I feel like
I feel like counting.
should be okay.
Right. Yeah. Should be.
Cursive? Do you think people know cursive nowadays?
That's not numbers.
No. I'm just saying it's another
I
thing
don't know.
people.
Is Simi learning that?
Simi was, I think, starting to learn it, but I've heard that some schools don't teach it anymore.
Yeah, I was taught it for
I guess
like
it makes sense.
a year and a half, and then they totally
Well,
scrapped
I
it.
don't think it makes sense because there's still writings that you'll find in cursive, and if you don't know what that is,
I guess that's true.
I mean, like, what if you found an old
Wooden
journal
ship.
and you wanted to
Oh,
read
yeah,
it, or
journal.
you know, what I mean, just
Say
something
wooden
from
ship?
history, anything historical, you wouldn't be able to read.
So, like,
Which would
what
be
if
kinda silly.
you're Nicolas Cage
Mhm.
and you go on an adventure and you find lots of things written in cursive?
You would need to learn Latin.
Right. Which is way harder.
First
Way
problem.
harder.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't teach that in schools anymore.
Right. So honestly, like first Latin, now cursive.
Cursive
What's
Latin?
next is my question. I need to stop lazing around.
What?
Sorry, I was leaning funny again.
Laser beams.
So what would you say this podcast is? Question to both of you.
Pop-
I say, go ahead.
Pop.
I say
I'm so bad.
you should go. In my opinion.
Pop culture is what our podcast is about. We talk about all things
Right.
pop culture.
Pop
with
culture, media.
sprinkles of comedy.
Sprankles.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, as an outsider turned insider. Do you remember Inside Out Boy? It was a Nickelodeon short.
Yes. The claymation dude. We've talked about him
Yes.
before. Yeah.
Have we? Do you remember that?
I love
think
his
so.
liver.
He swung
He used to
You
squish
loved
his
his
liver.
liver?
He used
so
to squish
weird.
it,
Yeah.
and I was like, "This is the best thing ever."
the origin of Inside Out Boy was. Is that what he was called? Inside Out Boy?
I know who you're talking about. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's his
Was
name,
he swung too hard on the swing, and when he swung over the bar, he turned inside out, so all his organs were on the outside of him.
but he used it to teach lessons to kids.
Right? Yeah.
About anatomy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No,
Math.
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 He's like, I'm inside out. Better teach numbers.
Kids love me, even though I'm a kid.
That's great. Anyways, what's our podcast?
Yeah, I guess I have to agree that it's a pop culture podcast. But I mean, can it be equally comedy and
I
pop
don't know.
culture?
Can it?
I mean, we try.
I mean,
Can
it
it
is.
be a slash?
It is pop culture stuff.
But if you look up podcasts, you look up like a comedy podcast and expect like stand up.
Right, right,
Jokes
right,
or
right,
something.
right. Right.
But you could look up pop culture.
Pop.
Pop.
Pulp culture.
Pulp culture.
Pulp culture.
This is Paul's culture. I also thought you said pulp culture.
Yes.
Like where we just talk
Pulp
about
fiction.
orange juice.
That's a great
That's great.
idea.
It's not.
Yeah,
actually
it
a
is. We
great
every
idea at all.
episode we drink some orange juice and talk about it. I'm making it.
How many episodes can
How
you
many
really,
types of orange
Yeah.
juice are there?
There
How
are
many you can really do?
hundreds.
Hundreds?
There's hundreds of glasses of orange juice.
Yeah, maybe that's what it's about. The type of glass.
Well, you got to think there's always
I mean, that's endless.
there's maximum pulp,
Oh my god.
some pulp, and no pulp.
First of all,
That's 3 episodes.
that's 3 episodes.
But every orange juice could have it. So
I'm-
then you're exponentially
God.
I
increasing
just
the
want to
amount.
say, I'm almost 100%
It's
sure
maximum pulp.
you will never find an orange juice container that says maximum pulp.
No, I will find radical orange juice.
I think it just says with pulp. You're making it way more intense.
Well, because there's also some pulp.
yeah, there's not maximum. Ultimate pulp. I don't think that's real.
That's absolutely real.
I don't think it is.
I'm gonna have to disagree.
So far, this podcast has had no pop culture.
See what I'm saying? All comedy
It's
all
been
day.
all
But we
business.
have
Unless
had
it's not funny.
pulp culture. So
Pulp culture.
Can it be a silly business podcast?
Yes,
yeah,
Rather
that-
than comedy, because
it could be.
yeah,
if it's more into that category, maybe.
pop
Silly
culture
business.
and silly business.
That I kind of like that.
I do
actually.
too.
Well done, Rachel. Killing it.
This is her podcast.
I
We're
know.
just
I'm
along
taking
for the
over.
ride.
Welcome to the Jessicast with
That's
Rachel.
weird.
Today's guests are Frank and Beans.
Oh, that's what I. That's what I was gonna say. I didn't know whether to say Jessica, Rachel, but I was gonna just go with Rachel, and then you said the guest was Jessica.
Well, it's
Yes.
like calling me Timothy David.
Ooh,
That's what I'm saying.
that's not that weird, actually.
Yeah.
Blah.
Wow.
You totally did that.
Wow. 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 All right, we're going to go into a category.
All right. Reflections.
Reflections.
Please, a moment to reflect.
Rule.
I still can't do that. Can you?
You kind of did.
I faked it.
Rule.
I can't do that.
You guys got bumpy tongues or normal tongues?
Bumpy tongues.
Some people have smooth tongues and other people have like crackly demon tongues.
That's
Those,
because that's
Rachel's
proof
about
that
to
you are
go off.
unhealthy.
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
unhealthy?
Your tongue is a signifier of how healthy you are internally. So if you have a cracked, bumpy tongue, it means you're very not healthy.
We got to
Yeah.
talk to Mom and Bailey then.
Let's see it.
Oh, don't throw them under the bus.
Oh,
on the
I will.
podcast.
Let me see. Let me see.
Oh, it's smooth like butter.
Especially when you
My
point it
tongue-
out like that. I don't even know if I can do it, but
How do I show if it's bumpy?
How do you show? It just is or it is not, right?
yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Wait, can yours change?
Rule.
There you gosh.
No, my tongue is the healthiest tongue on the planet.
Does mine look healthy? Is this good podcasting? Let me see yours. I feel like yours looks pretty healthy.
I can't even.
These are the sounds of us waiting for Rachel to stick her tongue out. Looks good.
Looks healthy.
Looks good.
That's professional
Oh my
tongue.
God.
We're clear,
right there.
guys. We are clear.
So what's Reflections?
Oh, you don't know what Reflections is?
Yeah.
Have you never heard the show?
Oh,
Yeah, this is my first time.
So it's not
it's our second week in a row.
on it, but she still never listened to one.
That's not true.
Reflections. That's true. That's not true. You're right. I know that.
All right.
Anyways, Reflections. Thanks. I almost got stuck.
I'm trying
Oh,
to do
Tim
the
got
math.
stuck.
Yeah.
Reboot.
Reflections is where we reflect upon episodes past if we feel necessary. We don't always do it. Sometimes it's like a correction or an
It's really
apology.
Brett's personal
Yeah,
thing.
that's
Doesn't it
kinda
seem
what
like
I
a
was
thing
gonna
would
say, yeah.
But sometimes it's come in handy where we've misquoted or said like a wrong
something
release
racist.
date. Yes, if we say something extremely racist,
yeah, that
we
happens a
choose
lot.
not to edit it out,
Yeah.
even though we edit this, and we just leave it in so that the next week we have a little bit of a longer podcast because we can reflect about how racist we aren't.
Right. Or take my method, don't listen to any of the podcasts and assume everyone's flawless.
Yes, Tim's method is way healthier, but my method is to listen to every episode and scrutinize it.
Which is good.
Which typically is like not that big of a deal. I just listen and I learn and I move along. So let me ask you guys,
Yeah.
how'd you feel about the last episode?
I should just ask you how you felt.
You both know how I felt initially.
I felt like it was a very good episode. I might have droned on a little bit too much about E3.
Really?
I think I talked too much about it.
You just feel like that when you talk for a while.
Yes.
But that's okay because it's a podcast.
That's
And
true.
I want to point out that like, all right, seriously, I had a point and it's completely gone. I have no idea what I meant to say after that.
That's I can't help you there, Brett.
I mean, it just left the station.
That is so
I have
depressing.
no idea what I was just going to say.
Well, yes,
did
I
I
felt
want
like I
with
talked about it. So this week, when I talk about E3, it'll be shorter.
Oh, foreshadowing.
Spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But otherwise, I thought it was a good episode. I thought we all had a good back and forth.
Good
It was
back and forth.
It was nice to have an extra person just in case
Yeah.
one of us died for some reason.
That was nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was my main purpose, I guess. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
just
to
in
be on
case.
deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
'Cause
even death if we like flubbed and couldn't recover.
Interesting.
Flubber.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Robin Williams. Oh.
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 Why?
Sorry, guys.
Flubber,
just-
Flubber was great, though.
Flubber was awesome.
Flubber was great. Flubber was great. How'd you feel about the episode? It was your podcast debut.
Yeah, I mean, I felt fine about
You
it.
sounded great.
I don't always think that my voice is captivating,
I find it
But-
captivating.
of course. Um,
No comment.
but
I legitimately did think it sounded good, though.
Yes. I think it was
but
nice.
yeah, I was happy with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
well,
You don't
Brett.
know?
But Brett.
Yes.
So here's my thing. I
Let's
wanted
hear
to
it.
open up the forum. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I want to point out that I just like talking about stuff like this on the podcast sometimes because I think it's fun to like analyze it
Yeah.
in a healthy way.
Right.
Not in the way where I beat myself up about it for 48 hours,
Hey, better not.
which is what I did with this episode for whatever reason. I listened to this episode about Wonder Woman and it was like the first one Rachel was on.
I think
and-
you had incredibly high expectations for it to like be
Okay.
knocked out of the park.
Yeah, well, I just wanted it to be a really good episode, and I listened to it and I was like, Tim sounded really good and Rachel sounded really good, but I felt like it could have been better on my end, and then it bothered me because it was this thing where it was like, Wonder Woman's never going to come out for the first time again, and Rachel's never going to be on the podcast for the first time again, and those things in my head, because I'm an extremist in my thought life,
Of course.
was like, no, it's over.
The opportunity's gone.
It's gone forever. And I listened to it, and I immediately texted you both, and I was like, "Oh, just a heads up, like the podcast is
The
not
podcast sucks. I don't even know why we try
So
anymore.
dramatic.
good." So dramatic, right? So I guess I wanted to open the floor for you guys to make fun of me for that.
Huh.
Wow.
All right.
This is a roast.
Yeah. How about it? I'll put the mic down.
It's gonna be
So
loud.
I wanted it to be audible.
audible drop.
I wanted it to be audible.
I don't think I don't think I could successfully roast you.
Try it.
Well, let me go get some fire and we can start.
Tim, that's morbid.
That's the only roasting
All
I
comedy,
got.
though. All comedy. No pop culture in that reference.
Yeah,
That was just a reference to murdering me with fire.
that's true. I mean, there is a reference there somewhere.
Probably.
Must have been said in a movie somewhere. But no, I think you do go a little extreme, but it's okay.
You don't really have to roast me.
I'm not going to.
I just thought it was funny how the perspectives, like I listened to it and I was like, oh no, so terrible. And then you both listened to it. Did you even listen to it?
I skimmed through. Like I listened
Yeah.
to parts because the Wonder Woman sections.
Because I put
specifically.
fear in you.
Yes,
that we didn't
I
do a
had
good
to.
job.
I had to go listen to the podcast. That's when you know it's serious.
Yeah, because Tim never listens to the podcast. And then you listened to it, Rachel, and you had some reasonable response where you were like, there were some parts that you're like, you said we were kind of vague because we didn't do spoilers for Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So you just had a reasonable response to it where I had like a mental breakdown for a little while.
Yeah.
But it's good because you do all the checking for us anyways.
It's true.
So even if you go way overboard,
Mm.
we can just reel it back and like go right to
Right.
the middle, and it's like, okay, so it's not that bad.
Right. And I really only beat myself up.
Mhm.
So it's really only bad for me.
But you do fine every episode.
And, oh, thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
We got some good feedback from Katrina,
Uh-huh.
who listens, and who, can we just go ahead and point out that she's the Catwoman to your Wonder Woman?
That's true. I think I referenced her on
You
the podcast.
totally talked about it, but
Yeah.
we didn't do names or anything. And so when she left us a comment, which shout out to Katrina, thank you for listening and
I just snap out.
being awesome. You snap out?
Yeah. Well, it's like a shadow, but with
Oh.
fingers.
Yes, snap out.
Yeah.
That kind of sounds like you're going crazy or going to hurt someone.
What if I already have?
Moving along, but staying in reflections.
Yes.
Now, we don't have to go like, we did the Wonder Woman episode, and I want to do one again in the future with spoilers. But I sent you both an article.
Yes.
Did you guys read the article?
I did.
We're going to do this in reflections because it's about Wonder Woman, which is on the last episode.
Okay.
Makes sense in my brain, and that's how we do this.
Okay.
This time. The article was on a website. I think it was Speculative Faith. Is that what it is?
Yep.
You say it because I...
Speculative faith.
Nice.
That is a hard word to say.
Speculative. Speculative faith, which I am not. Yeah, try it. Give it a shot.
No.
Come on.
Speculative.
Yeah. I wish it was speculative. I
Speculative.
feel like that's easier to say.
That sounded even harder.
Speculative. Speculative. It's that. It's the ecolative.
Yes.
That part in the middle.
So
Speculative.
this website,
I'm not super familiar with it,
Mhm.
but from what I can tell, it's like.
exploring fantastical stories for God's glory, is what the tagline
Oh.
for the.
There's a tagline.
Yeah.
That explains it.
Yeah.
Smart.
See, I thought I'd save you
Oh,
the
yeah.
trouble.
That's smart.
I didn't even notice that.
So I was gonna say it's pop culture, media, and nerd culture, all
Mhm.
these things looked at from a perspective of faith.
Mhm.
And this woman who wrote it, whose name is
Bethany A. Jennings.
wrote this article on Wonder Woman. I think it's called "The Heroine We Need."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, remembering
Nice.
things and pointing it out so everyone knows I'm not that efficient.
Right.
I was excited about this article because it touched on some things that we talked about,
Mhm.
which was like we couldn't quite. I guess we speculated a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now that
Ah.
hey, now that word's just in my head, so it's just coming out. About like why Wonder Woman felt so much like the first, like such a big deal to have a woman at the forefront of it, this big action movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like we could quite figure out why it was, other than in the superhero genre. And I feel like she kind of nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering what you guys thought of the article, because I was stoked on it.
Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting read. It made me really think, like, has there really not been a superhero movie or any, like, female-fronted movie where, specifically in the article, she was talking about how the women are damaged or kind of pushed into this position where they have to be hardcore and stuff. Is there a movie where they aren't that way? And the only one that came to mind, and it's still, I mean, was Underworld. I was thinking maybe, in a sense, she is
Interesting.
she like was born a vampire.
Celine.
And yeah,
Mm.
I mean, but it's such a like far-fetched way out of the park type of thing that
Yeah.
And it's still probably wouldn't fall in the category of being like a woman that we can relate to. in Underworld.
Yeah.
That was
you
a big
know,
part
and
of
that's
it.
kind of like the big thing in the article is, you know, most of the women in movies who are like the forefront and they're really good at what they do are damaged, morally not so sound, or you know, like they're, I don't know.
Yeah.
You should probably just read what it says.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. I was going to, and I wanted to hear your what you thought of it in particular. She gives some examples in the article of Katniss, Gamora, River from Firefly, Black Widow, but almost without exception, these women are emotionally closed off or damaged, wounded, forced into the fight, fearful, sneaky, quote-unquote bad girls or otherwise women I don't identify with or wish to identify with. Few embody more typical feminine character traits. They are always presented as the odd woman out for one reason or another, driven by grief or pain or a need to prove themselves. Desperate, harsh, hurting. And Diana was none of those things. And she goes on to talk about how some of the sweetest moments in the film arose from her soft and nurturing nature, talking about Diana, and her eye for the beauty in the world. She is someone I'd actually want to be, someone I could look up to rather than feeling like she was an exception to my gender, which that was the phrase that really stuck out to me, that the women that you see, it almost...
Like, I don't feel like I could be Black Widow.
Yeah.
I wasn't, you know, trained as a spy as a child and like,
Right.
you
Maybe
know,
you
corrupted
weren't,
and,
but-
you know, like she said, functioning out of hurt or pain.
Right.
Whereas, I mean, I obviously couldn't be, you know, Wonder Woman either fully in what she is.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
weren't
like a god
born
or
of
anything.
clay
But right.
that I
But
know of.
I could still like carry all the same values she does and take the same path that she does,
Right.
by choice rather than by force.
Yeah. Yeah. What I thought was interesting, and like, again, I mean, maybe there are examples that we're missing, but her saying that most of the women are an exception to the gender made me kind of feel like the ones that we've seen almost do the opposite of what Wonder Woman did, where it's like, whoa, look how badass those women are because they're not like other women. Like, that's not what women are usually like. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And I think in that sense, they're trying to be more like men in movies. Like they're
Yeah.
trying to be more
Well,
action
yeah,
oriented
it almost,
and stuff.
It almost brings it to that level, which now I don't want to be saying that that those strong women aren't representing women, but you know what I mean? It's almost like they make them so...
The opposite of women, you know?
yeah, in a way, yeah, like these extreme things where like she mentions and we did talk about that a little bit last week, I think, her softness and her gentleness amidst all of her, you know, her warrior training and all that stuff. So I don't know, it just kind of made me look at those roles a little bit differently when she's talking about how Diana actually has these traits that she's like, I kind of am like that, or I can kind of relate with that. I feel like you were going to say something.
No, I was thinking something, but
It's kind of like saying something, but
In your head.
in your head. to
But it
yourself.
does bring the question, like, what is it to be a woman? Like
yeah, Tim, what is it?
I mean,
is
like,
it to be a
in
woman?
movies, what is your
How do you
ideal?
portray
Yeah,
women,
like,
yeah.
because to everybody,
Well, and it's been portrayed.
so many
very-
different ways.
yeah.
Like, are women supposed to be sensitive? Are they supposed to be like more like men? Are they
Well, and
supposed
that's
to
what
be
I think
like
was cool
hardcore?
about
Like,
Wonder Woman is that she was
Everything. Yeah.
And
She
that's
was all
like
those things.
true feminism. Not that we're trying to be like a man, you know,
Right.
but that we are sensitive and nurturing, but also strong and courageous. You know,
Right. Those things are feminine characteristics. And along with that, so let's think about it like this. Do you think Captain America exemplifies...
Men.
Yeah, I guess. Like,
no, I don't think so. Like, I see him
not
more,
all men, right?
No, just because
He's kind of this ultimate, like, I guess...
I see him more as a symbol than anything else for like
Sure.
America, not like a symbol for men in general.
Interesting.
Simpy.
Simpy.
What's a... All right, hang on.
Hold on.
Can we guess what she was trying to say?
I'm gonna say she was connecting it to Ren and Stimpy and
Okay,
messed
that's
up
the first thing that went through my brain.
messed up Stimpy's name.
But I'm 100% sure she wasn't going there. So I'm going to say maybe she was trying to say simply.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go
It's
with you.
like
The
a
only-
new thing. Guess that word.
The only other thing I can think of is she thought of something really quickly that she needed to tell me about our daughter real quick, whose name is Symphony.
So
Oh
she's
my
like,
gosh.
Simpy,
Simpy! Simpy's in trouble!
I feel it in my bones.
Oh, I can feel it!
Where's poor Simpy?
Motherly things, I can feel it! My Simpy sense
I
is
do
tingling.
not call her Simpy. That's really weird.
Oh, Simpy. That's
Oh my
all I'm
gosh.
calling her now.
Simpy sounds like a little bug sidekick in a cartoon or something. Anyways,
Oh.
Speaking of Simpy,
that scared me because that's a giant black cat, and I thought it was a bug that size.
she's not giant,
All right,
and the door's not open. What a cruel world.
she'll be fine.
Where were we?
Yeah,
Simpy.
Captain
I was-
America, Simpy.
I was trying to say since he.
Oh! We were way off.
Way off. That one was too hard,
Oh,
Rage.
gosh.
Too hard. Nobody wins that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to say since he is a super soldier. I was thinking of too many
Yeah.
S sounds
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I stumbled
Wow.
over my
Since
words.
he's a super
Since
soldier.
he's super soldier.
Simpy a super soldier.
Simpy the super soldier. Yeah.
Yeah, what about it?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what we're
So
talking about.
Since he's a super
Oh
soldier.
yeah, because we're saying
Tim said he
he
like.
doesn't exactly exemplify all of mankind
Yeah, yeah.
because he is like super. But Wonder
Sure.
Woman's kind of like that too. You
Right.
know, like so there are exceptions. Not one person could ever obviously portray all of mankind.
No, of
but,
course, right,
yeah.
right. Which maybe that's the key, right? Like, maybe Wonder Woman is
But she has more variety in her
Right.
character than
right.
we see in other characters.
Like where some of the examples that she gives in this article, maybe you couldn't hold up as a symbol, like a representation of like the wholeness of a woman. They're like pieces of it. Same thing with Captain America.
Yeah.
Maybe he couldn't be, or maybe he is more of an
Well,
example.
he was like one version, you know, prior to his super strength and all that. Like kind
Right,
of the
that's
average
true.
dude, you know, just trying to make his way through life
yeah.
and failing and, you know, feeling that. And
Right.
then someone who does kind of the opposite. So he kind of
I feel
is
like men are
able to-
more bland. Like I feel like
Women are way better in
Well,
every way.
Yeah.
can be more complex.
more
I feel
complex.
like.
Yeah, like I feel like
But-
when you're looking for a male like lead, all you're looking for is a strong like dude.
Which
That's
might
it.
say something about our culture's idea of masculinity.
Yeah, I guess
Right.
so.
Well, and kind of like how every like main woman in movies has to be attractive in order to be the main
Yeah.
character at the
Our
time.
standard
So
of attractive,
Yeah,
yeah, Hollywood
so,
says and
yeah.
whatnot. But it kind of makes me think maybe what we're looking for in something like a Wonder Woman, where it's this super, like ultimate image of something, is something that's a well-rounded image. Not saying this is the ultimate of this gender or person group or whatever, and having it only represent pieces of that thing. So maybe that's why this seemed like such a big success in that way. And I loved how she put it in this article, because did you feel like that kind of shed some light on what you were feeling about it?
yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
I did. I was just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah.
Because I was trying to figure out why is it that there's been other female leads that don't have the same thing that really moved me. I'm like, what moves me so much about Wonder Woman?
Right.
And it really hit it on the head, talking about like that she chose this life and that she has a moral standard and that
Right.
she has a nurturing kind of motherly way about her, as well as the warrior. Like it's just that well-roundedness that we're talking about, that I was like, oh, I can identify with that for sure. I mean, some people have wanted to be spies and that's what they want to be when they grow up, but like not me, you know.
Harriet the
That's not,
Spy?
and I think most people who like would say, "Oh, I love Black Widow" or whatever, it's not because they love the fact that she's damaged.
Yeah,
You
right.
know,
right,
that's
right.
obviously not what it is. You
I
know,
love how hurt
because
she
we
is by her
glorify the fact that she's really good at what she does.
Right.
But what she does is terrible. If you think about it, just killing people, you know.
Yeah.
But
Especially why she, I guess, like.
yeah,
what
I mean,
brought her
obviously
there.
she becomes like on the good team, on
Right.
the good side. But
You're saying pre-Avengers.
yeah.
Let's clarify.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking spy, you know.
Right.
whatever.
Rachel's
But-
pro-Avengers.
Does
I
she
just want
kill
everyone-
and I
while
do
she's
like
part of the
Black
Avengers?
Widow's
Yeah.
character a lot, but because I have a lot of compassion towards her, you see that she's hurting and all that, and I'm like, oh, just want to love you,
Just like a little
Just give you a hug. Now it sounds like I'm mocking, but I'm serious. But
Yeah. No, I know. I feel you. It was just funny because Tim did a I don't know what he's.
It's a kitten.
Yeah.
But I said it.
So when
okay.
I'm talking about kittens, Brett
Yes.
pointed this out, or anything like cute, I go like this.
Yeah.
That's your
There you
like
go,
cute.
audience.
She's
Stand.
she's cradling it. She puts for listeners. She puts both hands together
Like I cup them together.
like a cup. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
little cup.
So when I'm talking about something cute, I just automatically
You
do
just, like,
that, and I don't
involuntarily
even
do
know.
it?
I'm
It's
doing it,
hilarious.
And then he
I
pointed
wonder
that
if I
out.
do anything with it. Maybe the pet. I think that's what I think.
you pet a
Stroking.
a
You're
cat.
like
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like I
from
imagine
Austin
a cat.
Powers.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. It's so good.
That's funny. Do you have anything like that?
I don't. I
Brett?
can't. I'm trying to think. I don't think I.
Whereas specifically when we're talking about cute things.
have. Actually, I think I make a weird voice and I like.
Clench your fists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I clench my
That
fist
makes
like I'm
sense.
gonna squish it.
A lot of people in
That's
my
dark.
family grind their teeth when
Yeah.
they're talking about something cute.
Which used to when she you were just doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I
but-
thought about it. I was like, I guess that makes. Oh, you're pretty. No,
Oh, it's
no.
so funny. Yeah, I always say too, like if I see something cute that I'm gonna squish it.
Yeah,
But I don't mean like I want to crush it.
Sure
yeah,
thing.
but
That's different.
Yeah, you do that.
But
with
yeah,
your
my
yeah.
hands, I go.
you
like,
just want to.
"Oh,
Yeah,
it's so cute, and I like
Yeah, you've done that to me. You're like,
make a cunt. Yeah, that's right. I'm
Yeah.
threatening to crush you all the time.
"Oh, great. Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. I think I'm done.
Yes.
With that section.
Sure.
Anything else you guys want to say about Wonder Woman?
Wait, there wasn't anything you wanted to say about Gaul in particular? I thought I remembered you saying there was, but
Oh yeah, well we had talked and I felt like we didn't really go into her as a person as much.
yeah.
I mean, I've never met her, so
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, what you've seen in interviews and whatnot.
Yeah, I've seen
She
some
actually
interviews and
seems
stuff like
kind of similar to her character,
Right.
to Wonder Woman. I think that's why I'm a little bit obsessed with her.
that. Yeah. Rachel's got
Because
this
she-
crazy crush on her. I'm gonna throw it out there.
Because she
hey,
does.
Brett, it's not a bad way to lose your lady. I
No,
guess.
I know. If I had to lose her, I suppose to Wonder Woman is fine.
Yes.
Well, because she has, I don't know, she kind of lives by some similar moral standards, which to some people maybe that's controversial. I don't know. Like there's things that I've heard that are a little controversial regarding like
Yeah.
her involvement in Israel in the army and what's going on over there, the war over there. But I don't know. I really appreciate like just how she lives her life and everything. And
Yeah.
she's a mom of 2, I believe.
Yeah.
And really involves her kids and everything, as well as all the acting and everything she's doing. And
Yeah.
I don't know. She just kind of, that character is very similar, like to her. I don't know, it just fits.
I think it's cool. Like, it's that weird thing. I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast before, which is funny because it's something I think about a lot or comes up a lot, where you start to follow someone in like the public eye. Like for me, it would be musicians. Like I'll start listening to a band, and then I love one of my favorite things about the internet now is you can find interviews with people all the time. So you kind of get to see them as a person a little bit. But when they're a terrible person, that's the worst.
Oh yeah.
I guess we could have just kept going from there because you're recording, right?
Yeah.
Go for it. Just whatever you're going to say.
You start following someone's work and you're like, this is so great.
Your
I really
hair.
like it.
I'm sorry.
wonder
I had
what's
your.
it doing? Is it doing a thing? My hair is weird. Is
It was bothering me. It looked like
that better?
yeah, much better.
When you're following people
Mm-hmm.
and then they suck
Yeah.
and you're like, man, sometimes it's even so bad. Like, I don't like listening to their music as much anymore. Or like, just checking my mic was on. Or like you watch a movie that they're in and you're like, man, this movie's great. But remember when that guy did that terrible thing in real life?
Yeah.
And that's hard. But with Gaul, I just kept finding out like all these interesting things about her. I don't fully understand all the details about her involvement with the armed forces in Israel, but I read something that she was a sports trainer in Israel, and you all right? What's happening? And but she did have involvement in the armed forces, and the controversy that I've heard about is that she's a Zionist, or I don't know how you say that.
Which
You said it a little
is
funny, but yeah.
Zionist?
Which is what?
Because Zion is in the word Zionist. A Zionist.
Yeah.
Zionist?
There you go.
Someone who
that sounds
plays a
better.
xylophone?
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
I probably just offended so many people. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't think you. It's just a thing you said.
No, I know, but what if
All the xylophone players right now. Are
I don't
great.
have anything
they're
like.
so mad I didn't call him the xylophonies, which they love to be called. So,
No. A xylophile?
oh, that's a
That's
little better. Better than a
creepy,
xylophony
yeah.
because they
So
sound
creepy.
fake.
File sounds creepy at the end of something, but it's only because you've heard the word pedophile a million times.
I was gonna go with X-File, you freak,
An X-file.
because that's scary.
But
Dun,
like,
dun, dun,
but like
dun,
you're a
dun.
cinephile. It's not gross,
What?
just means you're really into movies.
Oh,
That's-
Cinephile?
Yeah, that's what file means. But when
Yeah.
you put it at the end of pedo, it means you're
Nepophiles.
really into kids.
I thought you
so
meant
it
like
makes everything real creepy.
I thought you meant like
What'd you say?
sinning.
I said Nevophiles.
No.
Nevophiles.
That's my Australian lesson.
Oh, I love it.
Never file. What?
I thought you were talking about like sinning, like doing bad.
No, like a cinephile.
Yeah,
Right.
you're
Cinema.
you're a cinephile.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I was like, do I?
Oh yeah, I guess people could be that.
Yeah.
Like super into sins or whatever.
That's my daily
You
routine.
say it that way, it sounds so weird.
Um,
Super into sins.
That's funny, right? We're comedy podcast.
No way, pop culture.
All right.
Talking
whatever.
about movies,
So I looked up Zionism,
which is
a movement for the reestablishment and now development and protection of a Jewish nation in what is now Israel, established as a political organization in 1897 under Theodore Herzl.
So she essentially believes that Israel belongs to the Jewish population. Is that what
I
you're
believe
saying?
so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, which, that can be controversial. So.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't know all of the like specifics around the controversy with it and stuff like that, but it had something to do with her actual political stances and people feeling like, I don't know if that lines up with Wonder Woman who fights for freedom because they don't think her position lines up with freedom, but I think in her opinion it would.
Yeah. Plus,
her
I
beliefs.
mean, it's not like as an actress, everything you do in your life has to line up with your role.
No, it's
It's kind
true.
of silly
and,
that people
right.
would do that, but
and with something like that, it's personal perspective. I mean, some people disagree
Yeah.
with the war in general, and some
Yeah.
people are a part of it.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely some interesting things, and I guess to tie up what I was saying before, like the more I've seen her in interviews and stuff like that, like you said, her character seems to be,
yeah, she seems very sweet.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She has been in more movies than I realized. The Fast and the Furious,
Mhm.
like what'd you say, starting at 4?
Yeah, I
something like
think
that.
4 or 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then she was in, I want to say 4, 5, and 6. I don't
Could have
know.
been. I haven't seen any
more
of those,
recent
so
ones, but I could just IMDb it. But
You could.
I do it too much. I'm
No,
not
it's
gonna
good
do
to
it this
fact
time.
check yourself.
Yeah,
I feel a sneeze
suppose it
coming.
is.
I'm just warning you guys.
Okay.
There's also Miss Israel, 2014.
Mhm.
That's pretty awesome.
Found that out.
Mhm.
Not really surprising.
Yeah,
I
no.
guess. But that's such a like different thing from like acting and stuff. Like
Yeah,
I feel like that's a completely different
if you
thing.
But she's pretty eclectic with like the armed forces, pageantry, and
Yeah.
acting.
when I looked her up earlier, I'm gonna do it again because the description, it's really funny. Actress, singer, martial artist, and model from
That's
Israel. That's
awesome.
her description. Yeah.
Singer.
I mean, I suppose a lot of actresses get into modeling. That's not that weird.
True. I guess it was martial artist being thrown in the middle there. I'm
Singer
curious.
threw me off.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
it
does
said
she
singer. I didn't
sing?
even notice that.
Yeah. Actress, singer, martial artist, and model.
I want to hear her music.
I want to know what her martial arts background is.
Jackie Chan.
Well, she was a sports trainer in the army.
yeah, that's
so
true,
She
but-
might have taught like martial
And
arts.
that's where the sports comes in.
because martial
Oh.
arts is a sport, isn't
Interesting.
it?
Yeah.
Technically? So that's
Or it's an
probably
art.
what. Yeah.
Not martial
Some-
sports, Rachel.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes things are both. But yeah,
Yeah, no,
so maybe
totally.
that's particularly what she taught in the army.
Yeah, interesting.
Mhm.
So there's more
And
to learn.
obviously she used that in the movie, whatever skills she had.
Yeah.
for sure.
You know, which is cool.
Oh, I hope there's some sweet behind the scenes
Oh,
like,
extras
choreographing
and stuff.
like
Yeah.
that. Can't wait till it comes out. It's gonna be so good. All right, I'm done whispering now. I do really quickly want to shout out Spirit Blade podcast because that's where I heard about this article.
Mhm.
There's actually a sound effect like that during the intro.
I mean, Spirit Blade, it has to
right.
have that kind of noise.
So
No,
you
you're
heard
right.
about the article from another podcast.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
you read that article on this podcast.
I did. I had
This
to.
lady's getting lots of
Traffic.
press.
I should have just let you finish.
Yep.
You had it. I'm sorry. I stepped in.
No, it's,
You're a strong, independent woman. You held your own, and I came in like an assuming man.
See,
Like
and
I
that's where
had
we're
something to
wrong, Brett.
offer. And
It's all right.
thank you for that.
Thank you. For your contribution to the K-pop podcast.
Hot cha-cha.
Cha-cha-cha-cha. Viewers like you.
Thank you.
Anyways, Spirit Blade Underground podcast is where I originally heard it. And yeah, I had to bring it here because we were talking about Wonder Woman and the perspective was just so awesome. And I did want to give her some more traffic press because it's a good article.
Yes.
You should go read the whole thing. It's
Yes,
pretty...
it's a quick read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took me like less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy to find because it was recent. She wrote it at the beginning of this month. I think we can maybe wrap the Wonder Woman convo.
We're still
Yeah.
in reflections.
We
We're
are.
almost an hour into the podcast.
That's amazing. It's going to be great. So I had... What do we need to go into next?
I don't know. Next up, technically, would be stupid questions.
Do you have a question?
I can ask one.
He always has stupid questions.
I know.
Yeah, that's just
true.
my whole existence.
I kind of had one, but we could skip it.
It's up to you.
Okay.
Ask it. If it's not stupid enough, we'll just ignore you. And
Yeah,
then Tim
and
can...
I'll just
All right,
throw,
sweet.
I'll throw out the real question.
So we're going to do the transition here either way.
Okay.
But I'm going to make it stupid questions with me.
Uncle Brett.
I'm not an uncle.
Well, yes, you
Oh, yeah.
are.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yikes, Brett.
I don't have 4 sisters at all. Have children or
Looks like you're
anything.
sleeping on the couch tonight. Wah,
I
wah.
apologize to all of my nieces and nephews.
Uncle B
Okay,
specifically
I
is what
know,
they
I
call
have
you.
so many nieces and nephews.
Wow.
I'm an uncle many times over. I was thinking specifically in relation to you because you're an uncle because of me.
Yeah. And he doesn't have children.
You haven't
I know
unclified
what
me
your
yet.
thought process was. Don't worry.
Can we? Thank you. First of all, can I also just rewind a little bit because
Yeah.
I just invented the word unclified.
Did you? I didn't
Yeah.
even hear that.
Tim hasn't unclified me yet.
That sounds weird.
It does.
It is weird. Just throwing it out there.
What if you're a
Anyways.
father and an uncle? Are you a funkle?
Technically, I am that, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Stupid question.
With me.
That was a stupid question.
That one? Yeah. Tim's already winning.
Yeah.
Can you see any scenario where you would ever go back in time? That should wake you right up, Tim.
I love time travel.
To change something that you've done or said.
What?
Oh, wait. You're talking about us personally?
Would we go back in time to change something?
Can you imagine any
Change
scenario
something?
Yeah, you know.
where you would go back in time
Uh-huh.
to change something you've done or said?
I mean, who wouldn't take that?
Listen,
I mean, Brett specifically would.
I want to say though, we know
Mm-hmm.
that there could be consequences.
I have always, no matter what scenario in my life has come up. I don't know why I said that. That means nothing with what I'm about to say.
Now I can't wait.
No, I've always wanted to go back to first grade with the knowledge I have now.
That would be hysterical.
I think it would be such
Like
a fun time.
academic knowledge,
Yes,
you mean?
yeah. I think like,
Just being the smart kid for a
yeah,
day.
I don't know if I would want to like show my knowledge and be like, oh, this is division right here in first grade, or just go with it and have a normal day. But
That's
I
funny.
don't know. I've always wanted to do
But
that.
would that change the course of everything?
Yes, because then they would move me up to 5th grade when I'm 5 years old.
But then what if you're so smart that everyone you know dies?
What?
Tell me,
Just saying, what if?
are we going butterfly effect with this?
Possible.
Tim Point.
We've been watching a lot of Flash.
Get it?
Tim Point.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. Jeez.
Sorry. Oh, don't lean on your hand defeatedly.
Nice. Terrible.
Tim Point.
It
Tim
wasn't.
Point is
It wasn't really that funny. So sorry.
Tim Point is way better than A Wrinkle in Tim. So
No way. A
Yes,
Wrinkle
it
in
is.
Tim is a classic.
It's terrible, and there's like 4 sequels. I
We're
hate it.
actually on A Wrinkle in Tim 5. The
That's
Timoning.
actually pretty clever though, because you just
Rachel,
remove the
enough.
E, and that's it.
Yeah. It's perfect. It's my love story about time travel and romance.
We did script a pretty solid love story.
Yeah.
There was a video game competition and all kinds of madness.
Yeah.
So you're saying you would?
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about the ramifications, personally, because I don't think I could affect too much. I'm not like a superhero. I'm not.
You don't have to be a superhero, but you can go back in time.
You would change your own life for sure if
So,
you did
okay.
something weird.
Right.
Unless
so,
I can go back to like World War II and kill Hitler, because that's obvious.
right, but then you've killed Hitler.
And that would have ridiculous consequences.
Hmm.
I think, anyways. Not like I feel like
That's an interesting one.
because I always feel like it would do more bad than good. Not just because like all the things that came out of World War II.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would go a completely opposite way if Hitler wasn't around.
Because do you both operate strongly on the belief that like you are who you are now because of everything you've been through kind of thing? Like all things work for good, that kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you go on a journey through life and it changes who you are, so you kind of can't avoid that, yeah.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. Why do you think that way?
I do, but
I don't think you can't change though, like from that. Like some
No, I
people are
think
like,
you
I
can
am who I
change.
am, and this is who I always will be. Like I don't think that's true.
No,
but,
I agree. But so that's what made me think, because I've been watching a lot of Flash and the Wonder Woman episode. I just analyze everything,
Wonder
and
Woman
so
episode?
of our podcast.
Oh, okay.
That made
No,
me like.
I know.
I was like, of the
confusing.
Flash.
So that's where it started.
that
Yeah,
one?
sorry, that was a weird train of thought.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even the proper order. So let's start that over again.
Okay.
Not going back in history. You're
Yeah.
still going to hear it. So I listened to the Wonder Woman episode, right?
Yes.
And then I was like, man, if I could go back and change this.
That is what you would waste it on.
It's not like
If
a
you
wishes
had-
kind
if
of
you had
thing.
one, yeah.
I'm just saying that's what started the train of thought. So then we've been watching a lot of Flash, and there's some
then-
consequences
yeah, you don't
when
wanna-
you change things.
Mhm.
So I was thinking, is there a scenario where you would actually go back in time?
Well, with me personally, with all my time travel knowledge, I would
That's the thing.
probably not.
Using the knowledge we have from the things we've consumed.
Yeah. Just because
Knowledge.
there is
Definitely
no...
not into my own life or anyone I know. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to go back in time into those things.
Right. That's what it would have to be. It'd have to be something like something you like did or said.
But then
or-
what's... Yeah, because...
But you don't know. That's the thing. You don't know.
Yeah,
what
because
happens.
what's
Yeah,
the
I
point of
definitely
going back
wouldn't.
in time if it is something small enough? Like if you just said a wrong sentence to someone at some time and you're like, man, I wish I could erase that. I think that should be okay.
See, if I had that ability, my life would be exhausting because
Well, yeah.
so often you know how you think of the thing. Okay.
And the problem is that you would never live in the present.
Right.
Mhm.
That's a big problem.
Yeah.
And what if, so
Like
what if you had the
the
ability, right? Like, you know how you always think of the perfect thing to say later?
Yeah.
What if you had that ability? How much time would you actually spend going back
Oh my
and
God.
saying the right
Oh
thing?
my goodness. That
Well,
definitely
would you
sounds
waste any
exhausting.
time? You probably wouldn't.
I guess not really, because
Because
I
you
mean,
would
if
go,
we're talking the way it works in the Flash, like
Yeah.
it doesn't really.
yeah, you
waste
could
time.
go right back to the moment when you left.
Mm-hmm.
So you technically never waste time. For you, like, I don't know if your body will age just because, like, your body will age a minute because it took you a minute to fix that, but you're
Interesting.
still at the same point in time.
And then
It would
how?
also get confusing for you because it'd be hard to remember what you actually did because you
Right.
keep changing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you would never remember the original conversation. You would always remember, hey, I
Oh,
was
you
right
wouldn't
here.
remember it?
Well, I would assume. Well,
Because
you could
in
remember
the
it,
Flash,
but-
he remembers everything.
That's
so that's
true.
what gets so confusing. It's like
Mhm.
what really happened. You forget if you changed it or not, or what you changed it to. and
Right.
Right, so then you'll talk to someone and be like,
It'd be so confusing.
because you thought you corrected it, but then you never did correct it. So then, like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
So if I do it, it would be something small because I like it would be so easy to go back and be like, oh, what's the lottery number for this day, and I could win $1 billion. But
Sure.
that would, like,
That's not that small.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like you could do that
You
or go for something small
Right.
because that could change your life for the worse, and you'd never know.
Right.
So if I do it, I would do something small,
So you would go back and change little things.
little things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Rachel?
But you'd probably be tempted otherwise.
That's the
That's
story-
very true.
That's where the story arc comes
Mhm.
in. We don't know how he deals with it. But his initial thought
Yeah.
is you go back and change little things.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Rachel?
I really don't think I would.
Rachel's no.
Just a flat out no. See, that's good.
The
good.
only thing I would ever want to travel in time for would be to, like I said, not to anything I've experienced, but something from another culture, from another time period.
Oh, to
where
just like experience
Yeah.
that?
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's
That is cool.
just to see like
Way
kind
better.
of like that movie that I really like, Midnight in Paris.
Yeah.
I think it's called.
Yeah. With Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would do
Did you see
something
that?
like that.
Mm-mm.
It's a good movie.
It's really good.
Yes, that's a way better use of time travel than dwelling on your own
To experience
missteps.
But do you think
history,
you
but
being
not
there
to
could
be
affect
too I
things?
would definitely not want to
careful.
do anything too significant, that's
Yeah.
for sure. I'd probably want to do, like, just experience something cultural that's small, nothing like catastrophic,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
I would probably be severely tempted because I spend way too much time thinking about the past.
Mm-hmm.
So my inclination would probably be to try to see if I could change it. But
You're a lot like the Flash then.
I think I would have to like fight it because that's what I feel like I do now is I'm trying to like learn to not think about the past
You
as
will
much.
learn.
Right.
I
So
have faith in you.
I appreciate that. So I feel like it would be the same thing. But the idea of going back.
Next time you're not going to
So
sit
funny.
between us. I don't want any more pats.
But the idea of going back and just experiencing the past is super
Mm.
rad.
That'd be so cool.
Although maybe scary. Because
Yeah.
we are not culturally
Oh, yeah, you
Like,
might not know what to do.
prepared
Or,
to be in like medieval times.
Yeah.
I would
I'd
get
probably
killed.
choose certain things specifically that I know I can
Yeah.
handle.
I've always
but
wondered the smell. What is the
The
smell?
Yeah.
that
no,
would be a
that's-
problem for me.
Yeah.
That's
Good
for
point.
sure.
Yeah.
With your super nose. Oh
Right.
my god.
Rachel has very sensitive sense of smell.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That would be because it would be different.
Oh
I
my
mean,
god, so different. Like,
Everything around you is different.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
We should move into TV.
I do have a stupid question.
All right, let's do it.
This is stupid. Like real stupid.
Wait, how was mine?
I don't think it was stupid.
I don't think so either.
Yours aren't always stupid though.
No, they're not.
I try to drive this point home.
Yeah.
I had to call it stupid questions because it's funny.
Right.
And we're a comedy podcast.
Yeah.
But
You
you
said yeah.
Yeah.
I win.
It says I was paying attention.
All right, what's your question? I'm
Yeah.
ready. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, what? You guys talking to me?
What?
No, I'm kidding. Okay. Do you guys think
Not often.
bugs can have deformities? Do you think there are bugs out there who are born like missing a leg, missing an eye,
I think so.
Yes.
missing a
Yeah.
wing?
Yes.
Definitely.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think I've seen a single bug that has had a deformity.
Well, they're deformed.
That doesn't what?
They're
I'm trying to remember. I feel like there was a
Parents eat them.
time where I did see something. What's hard about bugs is like there's so many different species and things that maybe we don't know about. And so then it's like,
Alright.
oh, is this like a deformed ladybug or is it just
Is it
another
just a-
kind of bug? Yeah. I
Interesting.
mean, but I feel like there was something I had seen where I was like, this is a really odd looking bug. What was it? But animals can be deformed. Like
Animals, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So I
bugs,
feel like bugs could be
like,
too,
can there
but,
be one born without a wing? Can it still fly?
I feel like I've seen some like two-headed ants or something. I feel like I've
you've
seen that.
But you don't know.
Not
for
like
sure.
in person, but like online. Not like here in my hand.
Ooh.
But I feel like I've seen that.
I don't know. I was just thinking about it.
I know you probably could Google it and find some weird bugs.
Yeah, I bet you
That's
could.
what makes this portion of the podcast stupid is we can always Google the answers.
Right.
Yeah.
I like to ask though. I like to see the opinions.
Yeah,
I like it.
definitely think that it could just
I think that's the thing.
as any other thing that's born could be deformed.
Mm-hmm.
I think a bug could.
Yeah.
be
Why
too.
can't a bug be?
Yeah,
Can a one wing fly?
but it's not
fly?
because it's had too much heroin.
Okay.
Too much heroin?
Well, because a lot of
Ah,
children
yes.
or whatever, like if they're born with a deformity, it's because of drugs or genetics or different things. But
So bugs don't have like crack babies.
yeah, they don't.
Right.
I'm sorry. That's offensive to anyone.
Yeah, I don't know if that is or not. I'm losing
I
track
feel bad
of what's
now.
out
All
there.
right.
Sorry, crack babies.
See, when Tim says it, it sounds like, oh, of course Tim's saying that.
Right,
For
well,
some
I'm
reason,
allowed to
I
say
say
it.
it. I feel like I'm offending someone.
Oh God.
Because I don't feel like I offend anybody. I'm too simple.
Yeah, I think, yeah, plenty of deformed bugs out there.
There's one in my face.
What?
Okay, let's go into TV.
We're going into TV.
TV?
I feel like you're rushing me.
I mean, we've been here over an hour, so.
All right, fine. Let's go into TV. All right, we after all that comedy,
Yes.
we can get into some pop culture. I guess. I guess there's a lot of Wonder Woman in there, actually.
Yep.
Rach with the yawn party
I'm
though.
sorry.
She's just so-
It's all right. Hey, see, I'm not the only one. Sometimes we're podcasting and I yawn because I'm a sleepy guy. Sometimes.
Sure.
Not as much lately because
Uh-huh.
of keto,
Key.
but I did eat some sugar today, so I'm gonna
Maybe
die.
that's why I'm extra yawny.
It
right now.
is. Sugar-induced sleepy time. That's my new band. Check us out on
Okay.
SoundCloud.com/sugar-induced sleepy time. SIST. Sist. Gross.
That's gross.
All right, listen, we need to talk about the Flash.
Yes.
Okay.
Real fast.
I was talking fast. And I didn't mean to. That's very funny to me.
It's really good.
Okay, next.
Mine
Real quick, let me throw this out there. Real quick, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
was funnier.
When's the pop culture?
It's coming, but I just want to throw this out there. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So many spoilers about to happen. Anyone who's listening or watching and is not caught up on the Flash, go away or prepare to be spoiled.
See you
That's
later.
right.
Go away.
I'd prefer.
Right now.
I would prefer
Run as fast as you can.
run away. I prefer that you leave because
Go back in time and stop us from talking about it,
yes,
if it
or
really
don't.
offends you.
There will be consequences.
which is the theme of this podcast.
Consequences? Actually, I think there's going to be a different theme, but we haven't even gotten to it yet because we've
Are
been
they normally
reflecting.
themed?
Not
No.
really. No.
Oh.
There were two things that were going to come up today that were
Sometimes
The
it inadvertently becomes a
Yes.
theme, but
right. But
so
Were you-
Flash.
Yeah, were you gonna ask a question?
I just wanted to
Oh,
let
yeah,
everyone know that
spoilers,
there are
yeah.
spoilers
Yeah.
because there are
Alert.
going to be.
Alert.
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 So many alerts for
Alert.
so many spoilers.
Alert.
Because we're talking
Alert.
about the finale,
Mm-hmm.
season 3.
Yep.
Season 3 finale.
Mm-hmm.
When you finished it a little bit ago, right?
Yes.
I would like a time and a date, please.
I believe it was on May 22nd, 2017.
Don't believe you.
I don't like the way you said 22nd. So,
It's not a good alibi.
yes, very weak. Will
I'm
not
sorry.
stand up in court at
That's
all.
a shame.
We finished it last week, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I need a
Um,
time and a date.
Within, it was, I can't even remember today's date. I'm going to be 100% honest with you.
Today is
It's
June
probably at 10 o'clock.
26th.
It's probably around 10 o'clock.
You might have finished it June 22nd.
Or 11 o'clock.
Because today is 26.
Could have been one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Yeah, so within like 2 or 3 days, we watched the last 5 episodes, I think.
Mhm.
Maybe it was 4. So I will be hard-pressed to tell you what happened in what episode.
Yes.
Because we kind of binged the end
Yeah,
of it.
they all
Um,
blend.
But we spend the whole season, or the majority of the season, half of the season. What was the first half?
Second half.
What was the first half? I know it wasn't.
The first half was them trying to capture Savitar.
Right. So I was just going to say this whole season with the villain being Savitar.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say.
Hey, thanks for cutting me off, though.
You're right. I'm sorry. You are a strong, independent woman, and I just I shouldn't do that to you.
That's fair.
Nice.
So many callbacks this episode. I like it. So Savitar, he's the big villain, and it probably is second half of the season that we discover he's a man.
Mhm.
He's not just this speed god as he claims to be.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you guys think of him as a villain in general? Like before like the ending and what we discover about him
He has not been as good as the other two villains. I thought
being Reverse Flash and Zoom.
Zoom, yes. I thought Reverse Flash was very interesting because of the connection he had with Barry and the mystery of who he was.
Right.
Zoom was also very interesting because
He was so scary.
he was scary and we had no idea who he was either.
Right.
But with Savitar, I didn't have an opinion formed at the beginning that he was going to be someone.
Right.
So there wasn't that whole season of like, oh, who's this? I can't wait to get near the end to see who it is, you know? But I also just feel like I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of wearing out the speedsters that are always
Okay.
just stronger than Barry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always that, huh?
That seems to be the formula.
Yeah,
is-
it's a mysterious villain who's always faster than Barry.
Mhm.
And then
From the future.
from
It's always someone from the future.
yeah.
yeah, I guess so. Is Zoom from the future?
Zoom was from another Earth.
Earth.
Oh, no, yeah, I guess that's
Was
true.
he from the future?
But the Reverse
I don't think
Flash
so.
was from the future.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So which I think is a
So it
neat
just
format.
felt like a trend. It's always like this
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
futuristic thing. But yeah.
So I thought it was a neat format, but it could just be wearing thin.
Right. Yeah, because that has been each season. It's just like the
Mhm.
new, faster, scarier villain.
Yeah.
Um,
But once he discovers who it is, he always becomes faster for
Right.
some reason.
yeah. Or figures out, well, that didn't really happen this time,
yeah.
Yeah, I guess not.
which is interesting.
Well, when he's out of the suit, Savitar, he's slow. Like he
Yeah.
can go fast, but Flash is
Right.
faster.
True. Yeah, because the
Mm.
suit. Interesting. So, Rach, you want to talk about the reveal of who Savitar is?
I mean, I had a feeling.
You did. Okay, so let's talk
Yeah.
about theories. I had almost no theory.
I mean, I didn't for a while, for
Right.
sure. He kind of felt like what you're saying, like just kind of this random guy who pops up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, I'm sure they're gonna reveal this at some point.
Yep.
But I didn't like care too much about
Right,
who it
because-
was. But then
They start
as it
shifting
got-
focus towards it. They're like, hey, he's actually
Yes.
someone like close to you.
And
yeah,
then-
when they
right.
start being like, you can hurt him, like when they found like a weak spot in his armor
Right.
or whatever. Then I was like, okay, so who is this guy? And that started making me think.
Mhm.
And I thought, oh, it's Barry from the future.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
they
what I thought.
when they start laying it on, they lay it on pretty thick.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, they're saying things like he literally says,
Specifically, yeah.
I'm Flash from the future.
I am the future Flash.
right.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah.
says that, and like, I guess in a sense you could take that as, okay, it's another Flash from the future. No way, it's me. It's just someone who's pretending to be the
Right.
Flash. from
Because
the
at this
future,
point
but
he's met Jay Garrick, he's
Yeah.
met all these other Flashes.
I
Snow says something too, or
What does she
Killer
say?
Frost.
what did she say?
She says like he knows everything.
Yeah,
You're
I mean-
living his past or something.
Yeah,
like
I think that was the same episode it was revealed. I think. Where,
Okay.
Like that was all the build up where she was.
Yeah.
Right.
She like recognized him too. They said that she like she
Right.
knew
That
him.
was like a definite like, oh, this is Barry.
Yeah.
When she
Right, right.
recognized
I
him.
thought for a very long time that it was Wally. I thought it was going to be Wally.
As Savitar, you thought he was Savitar.
That's
Yes.
actually not a bad like guess because Wally was made by him or something, and you could think that maybe
Yeah.
that's why he made him. So that
And
he
I
would
feel like
Right.
he
become
was
him.
always a little jealous of Barry in a
Yeah.
sense. So maybe he could
That
use
was a
that to
good
get
theory.
revenge. But I thought,
That
why
almost
the
sounds
heck?
better actually.
Why the heck would he
wasn't
kill
that?
Iris? And there was also
Oh,
the
yeah,
idea
yeah.
he gets thrown into the Speed Force. So I thought, oh, this is it. He's gonna get stuck in there and become Savitar, and that's the chain
right.
of events. That was my whole process thinking. But as you said, it was revealed to
Yeah.
be Barry, a
It
remnant.
almost seems crazier that Barry, like they address in it, with all of his memories, could possibly kill Iris.
Right,
Like,
and
it
that's
just seems outrageous.
Right.
But
That was
I don't know.
That was the crazy thing because so a lot of this season is it from halfway that he has the vision,
Yeah, at the end of the first
or
half.
he
of
goes
the
to the future. He doesn't have a
Yeah, at the end of the first season, after they like send the Philosopher's Stone or whatever it was
Yes.
into the Speed Force, he goes so fast that he goes to the future. So yeah, right at the end of the first half of the season.
Yeah,
is when
and
it
he
shows.
sees Savitar kill Iris,
Mm-hmm.
and so the whole second half of the season is them trying to figure out how to change the future, how to stop what Barry saw.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it is revealed to be, it's a time remnant,
Mm-hmm.
which is
That's such a confusing thing. We've talked about it multiple times. where
because
we're
it
like,
happens with Zoom. That's
Yeah.
how he kills Zoom. Is he creates a time remnant, which is him. It's a past him, right? Like he goes and
Yeah.
gets from the past
Yeah,
or
so
from the future.
he goes. Yeah, Barry 1 goes to the future.
Yeah.
Leaves Barry 2 back in that time, but when he comes back to the same point. So Barry 1 is at the same point where Barry 2
Right.
is.
so this time remnant happened during Zoom.
During Zoom.
Yeah, when they're going around the wheel real fast,
Mm-hmm.
they're like chasing each other. It's that
And-
remnant.
That's the remnant that turns into Savitar.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it's revealed to be Barry from the future, and it does. There are all these questions like,
Which
you
how is
know-
he from the future,
I think he traveled to the future.
or did he? Because they said he came and met with them.
No, he lived it all, because he goes to the future and talks to Barry in the future.
Right, but remember they said like they never really accepted me. Like he said he helped them for a while. They worked
yeah,
together.
It's like when did that happen? I don't understand.
Someone just got
was that?
something on eBay.
Yeah, that's a sound.
So yeah, he got. Yeah, I don't know. He either went to the future and met with the future people, and they're like, "Oh, we'll accept him and stuff," or he met with them right after Zoom, and in this timeline with Barry, it just hasn't happened yet.
That's confusing. I don't know.
So I wonder if he's going to show up again
Maybe
next
okay.
season.
So, what's weird about that is so Barry, current day Barry goes to the future and talks to the Barry post Iris's death.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he goes and talks to him and tries to figure out like who Savitar is because he thinks Barry from the future would have figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out that he never did.
Mm-hmm.
So that Barry must be the one with whom the remnant spent time and tried to help out and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But the thing is, the time remnant is not current day Barry,
Right.
but it still has all his memories, which is what Rachel was just saying with Iris and his family and all that stuff. But his ultimate goal, because he said if he doesn't kill Iris, then he never exists.
Okay.
Because that's what sends Barry into like reeling into depression and all this stuff like that. So that bit's a little confusing, honestly. I don't really understand the timelines there, like where the remnant exists. But that's what happens.
Yeah.
So there's this remnant. That's who Savitar is. With the help of the suit, he's faster than Barry. In the whole first half, he's just a god. He's just a speed god. But now that it's revealed to be Barry, there's all these new dynamics. And we get to, I think it's the second episode before the finale that they reveal who he is. Or it might even be the third episode, because the second to last ends where they get to the point in the future where Barry had seen that Iris is killed.
Yes, and then there's the season finale. So it's 3 episodes, I think.
So the third to last episode is the reveal. Second to last, it ends with Iris being killed. And there's a lot of really like pretty intense buildup with Kate at this point. Caitlin has become Killer Frost. She's helping Savitar. She knows who he is, but she has some minglings with the team again to help because what'd you think of the episode where Barry loses his memory? They take Barry's memory.
that was a funny one.
It was really funny and really interesting because they discovered that Savitar, his memories are Barry's.
Yeah.
So what the team decides to do is take away Barry's memories so that Savitar can't figure out what he's thinking and where he's going and what he's doing.
Well, the intention was to block future memories.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
But
all.
the really interesting theme in that episode was that Barry, actually kind of similar to what we were talking about earlier, Barry is the culmination of all of his experiences. So when they were all taken away from him, Iris points out mostly like how he's this happy-go-lucky, like carefree Barry again because he doesn't remember anything that he's been through.
Which is very funny because I condemned Flash to late night TV watching. I started watching the first season again just to compare the difference, which I don't know why I didn't think about that until right now. But the show's not theme, but attitude, I guess, so different. Now it's so like dark and depressing, and Barry's like never happy, which that episode specifically points out. It's like, oh my God, he's so like happy now because he can't remember anything.
Right.
But watching the first season, like it was just such a simple, like carefree formula. Like they had the villain
discovering powers.
Yeah, exactly. And it was so just like happy, and like even though there were bad situations, he still like laughed at the end of an episode.
Now he's
like,
turning into Arrow because he's jaded.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
So it's funny. I don't know if that's an intentional twist or not twist, but like story progression. Yeah. Or if I don't know what it is, but it's funny how different it's been after all this time.
It is. And I mean, I'll give the show credit because it's been gradual enough that it doesn't feel out of place.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, everything's really intense now.
And he always blames himself for everything. So
He
now
does.
it's like thing after thing, and he's just getting jaded and whatnot. But when seeing him with his memories wiped made me want to see him more like that again.
Yeah.
Right.
Where he's like actually living life and enjoying it and still doing all that stuff, but like
Right.
there's no like huge sense of dread the whole
yeah,
time. Like there's just
I
like
don't know. I know, because that just can be kind of a downer, and I don't know. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping, but then with the way it ended, I'm like, I don't know.
Right, yeah,
how-
so-
if that's the next season's even gonna be like happy-go-lucky, or if it's gonna be
Right.
worse.
So, okay, let's get there real quick. So, he ends up getting his memories back and bring it back to the end of the second to last episode, and everything.
Oh, by the way,
happens.
did you guys get tricked by Remnant Barry like trying to
That's what I
become-
wanted to talk about
Okay,
because
yeah.
that's in the finale. There a lot happens in the finale.
Yeah.
Wait, Remnant, what?
So I'll get there. That's where I'm going right now.
Yeah.
So
So you're talking about something else.
well, I
I
also
talking about
got
Iris's death.
I got
Okay.
going there.
Yeah.
Too.
Okay.
So that episode ends. Iris dies. We have the luxury of binging, so we can go directly into the next episode. Don't have to wait a week to figure out what happened.
Yeah.
And you discover that HR has switched with Iris, switched positions, and HR actually was the one who was killed by Savitar.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which is, I did not expect,
me neither.
Mm-hmm.
but it was really cool and really sad.
So sad. And I was talking to Tim about this the other day. I think you and I probably had, I mean, we all probably had the same reaction over and over and over again. So much happened there in that one moment because everybody's there. Joe's up there watching. Barry obviously is holding her. And then they use the, I don't know what it's called, but the thing that changes your face and your everything.
Flashlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a flashlight that makes you look like someone else.
That's clever.
I didn't even put it together. So when it's revealed that it's HR, there's so much going on because it's like, yay, Iris isn't dead. Oh no, HR is. HR took the hit for Iris. Joe thinks that Iris is dead and then realizes she isn't. Barry thinks he's holding Iris and then realizes it's HR. So there's like
Iris sees HR
yeah,
die.
right, and realizes like,
and
Well,
she
she
is
knew,
HR
but-
at the time,
Right.
and then it goes to her, and she's normal. It's so many emotions.
right, but
Yeah.
to see it as her seeing how he took her place, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
And then the girl that he was kind of newly falling in love
Yes.
with is there and sees
right.
him die,
It's
which
sad.
really stinks.
it's crazy.
Mhm.
So that's the beginning of the finale,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So now let's get to what you were referencing. Sorry, I'm kind of
No,
monopolizing this, but
no, I'm glad.
there were a couple points that I really wanted to hit on, and
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was one that I really wanted to get to. He was asking if we were fooled by when the Time Remnant goes to be with Barry and Team Flash, because
Oh.
Barry has a conversation. Oh, he meets up with Snart,
Yes.
which was I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I really like their dynamic together. King Shark shows up. That whole thing
Yeah,
is
that
really
was
cool.
neat.
We won't spend too much time there, but you should watch it if you haven't. It's great.
They
Eh.
probably shouldn't be watching this if they haven't.
Still watch it though. But you're right. I warned him. I told him to leave.
Spoil it.
So Snart says something to him about how being good is what the Flash does. Maybe try to win by being the good guy.
Yep.
And so what he does, and I loved this because I don't feel like you see it a lot, he decided to try to offer some forgiveness and help to the Time Remnant.
Yeah.
And he goes and meets with him and talks him into coming to be with Team Flash.
Yeah,
Which
I
I
was
was-
surprised he even went there
Yeah.
to begin with. For
Barry went to
the
see
time,
him, or
no, I'm surprised the Time Remnant went back
yeah.
to like take him up on that offer of forgiveness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you think it was a trick the whole time?
No, not at all. I was
Okay.
sold.
He was
I thought
feeling it out.
Yeah, I thought they were totally going to take a different ending because I'm like, oh, this will be neat if
Yeah.
he decides to stick around, or something happens where he'll die at some point at the end of the season. But yeah, I was genuinely tricked.
I still am not 100% sure that he wasn't genuine at the time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like he might have been feeling it out, like thinking maybe I could do this, but then realized no, I can't
He's
because
like,
not
no.
everyone's gonna be okay with this. When,
Yeah.
Who was it that gave him a hard time? Oh, the scientist. There's a bug in here.
Oh, what's his name?
No, the girl.
Oh, what's her
I
name?
killed that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, the one who was with HR. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
remember her name at the moment.
I can't either. It was too
Yeah.
long for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was giving him a hard time because he just killed HR, and he says that he's like, how can you even have me here? I mean, I just killed HR, and but seeing that to me was
That
really
was cool.
powerful because you never see that extent of like forgiveness and
Right.
trying to help someone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just very, very interesting. And one thing I like about the Flash is it's always been very self-aware. And I think that was really evident in this part because there's a moment where the Time Remnant is like, okay, so you want me to just be alive and be here? Like, how do you see this happening? Like,
Yeah.
how do you explain me? There's already a real Barry
Yeah, and they'll continue to share memories, which is weird, especially if he
with
marries
Iris.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, which side do I
Strange.
sit at the wedding?
Yeah.
And like, I thought that was good because that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
If he does stick around, like what?
how do
Yeah.
you do that?
How do you do that?
Right. I'll tell you a quick thing that I had formulated in my brain at that point because something had happened with Killer Frost. I thought something. Oh no, this was before. Something had happened between Savitar and Killer Frost, where I thought that the vision that or the thing that Barry had seen in the future, it was going to be her in the Savitar suit killing Iris.
Oh.
Because when they revealed that the Remnant had the same memories with Iris and
yeah.
stuff, I was like, oh, he's not going to be able to kill her, because that would be like kind of a crazy twist.
That would be.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't.
And
You're
I was
right.
totally wrong. So they try to offer him forgiveness, all this stuff, and it doesn't end up. He ends up bailing out.
Puts a bomb in the accelerator or something.
Yeah, and he goes back to meet up with Caitlin, and he has Killer Frost, Snow, Killer Snow Frost, and I guess that pretty much leads up to the big finale.
Yeah,
the big battle at the end, which was pretty radical.
It was.
So even though the whole forgiveness
Iris
thing,
killed somebody.
yes,
Very
so
true.
That
But
was crazy.
does that count? She killed a remnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's good.
I mean, I don't think it was like they kind of made it this big deal. It's like that's normal if you're like a cop and you're defending yourself. Sometimes you
Right.
have to kill someone, or if you're like whatever, like that's normal. They make it. They're always like, "Oh, Barry, you shouldn't kill anyone," but it's like if every time you enter a fight, you might kill somebody.
Could
Yeah.
happen.
Like you're using superpowers against each other.
Right.
And this one in
So
particular,
to me, that's like a very plausible thing. So
like this one in particular has already been murdering people, and like you offered forgiveness. This whole thing is going awry. He's about to kill more people, and she just took the shot. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that seems normal.
I agree
And her father's
where-
a cop. That's why I use that reference.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like she's gonna do the cop thing
Yeah.
probably with
I actually thought it was Joe when you
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
the shot go off, but there's a lot of really cool sequences where Barry jumps into the Savitar suit and knocks the Time Remnant out. I thought that was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was
Yeah.
neat.
When he like phases into it. I gotta shout out the graphics in this season.
Yeah.
I thought everything looked awesome.
Looked pretty good.
there were-
Definitely
Savitar
getting
looked
better.
good.
There were Savitar looked good almost all the time. There were one or two CG sequences where I was like, meh. But for the most part, like the practical suit and
Yeah.
everything, like I thought it looked really great. So I was super satisfied with the first ending of the finale.
Okay.
What I'll call the first ending, which is where they have the big throwdown. The fight's great. Cisco's there. What's her name? The girl that he's like, the other.
Oh yeah.
The other Viber.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
exactly who it is.
What is her name? Christmas. I can't remember.
Jody?
Nah.
Okay, thought I'd try.
But they have this whole battle and they do after this whole season waiting for Savitar to kill Iris. They switch it and Iris ends up being the one to kill Savitar, and they go to they deal with HR and his funeral and all that stuff, and they talk to Killer Frost. She's like, I need time to figure out who I am, and I thought they wrapped it up really nicely.
Yeah.
And to go back to what you were saying, Rach, about how you just kind of want to see him happy again. They're at the apartment. All this madness is over. Hanging out with Iris.
Just about to get married.
Yeah, Barry's like, are you ready to be Iris West Allen? She's like, I've always been ready. The ring goes on the finger. And
The
then
invitations get sent out.
Yes,
Yep.
right. He sends all the wedding invitations. And then it's just a really romantic, like cool, like wrapping it up. And then all the lightning starts in the sky. And let me just say, I think that's where it should have ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
that
think-
you don't know what it is yet.
Right.
And that's normal. Like they did that in Supergirl where like there was like an earthquake and that was the end of the finale. or
That's right.
whatever,
That's
you
all-
know,
yeah,
like
it's like-
that's kind of normal. They totally could
Spoilers.
have done that. That was like I don't know,
First
a
season.
couple seasons ago.
But that's
or-
why it's good. All you know is there was an earthquake or something. But that's not where it ended.
Right.
As one of you, I've been talking forever. One of you throw out how this actually ends.
So basically, it ends where who was it that came out? Just the Speed Force, I guess.
It's just the Speed
The
Force.
Speed Force. So
freaking Garrick or whatever is the reason for it
Yes.
because they freed him.
Yeah, so
and
Jay
that was
Garrick-
totally pointless.
yeah, there was no reason he had to come out.
Right.
Yeah.
He
And
was
then-
there
And
to
he
fall.
said, yeah, and he was the one who said, I'm going to spend my time here. Like,
Right.
it's my turn. They take
It
him
was
out for
his
no
turn
reason.
Right.
until
So to quickly explain
Yeah,
that, there's
that's stupid.
Savitar was stuck in the Speed Force, and apparently the Speed Force needs someone in it. I don't know what the
Because they created this trap that
there's a
never
trap.
ending or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So someone's in there for eternity or whatever. Wally was in there, but then they got Savitar back in there, and then Savitar got out, and then Jay Garrick ended up going. Oh no, Savitar, then Wally, then Jay Garrick went in and
Yes.
freed Wally.
yes,
And during all this stuff in I think it was in the finale or maybe the one before, Jay Garrick comes out.
Yeah.
So now there's
Yeah.
nobody
And
in there.
Was
Right.
there even a reason for him to really come out? That's what bugs me. Is I feel like he came out,
They
didn't
just-
actually fight anything, and then
he
Right,
was
he-
there for like moral support, basically.
Yeah, like he
Yeah.
doesn't even fight in
Does
the
he-
big battle. At
Does
the
he
end.
save Barry at some point though? Like when he shows up initially, does he like punch the Avatar and like?
I think there
save?
is something like that.
where he just shows up out of nowhere and it saves Barry?
I forget.
I feel like there is a moment.
I think so.
Wasn't it
but-
Cisco that freed him or something? Or no?
I don't remember exactly what it is. No, but I think it's when he's trying to save Cisco, maybe. But Barry's down, and Savitar's like, "This is it." And it's one of those things where like the villain hesitates for way longer than you know that you normally
if
would.
He stabbed, it'd be all
and
over.
then I think that's where Jay shows up.
Yeah, he just shows up and like punches them or distracts them or
yeah.
whatever.
So now the Speed Force is empty,
Yep.
and Jay's out for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So basically, the Speed Force is destroying the fabric of reality to get someone to be in the Speed Force
Yeah.
for whatever reason. So
Balance or something.
yeah, whatever, balance in the Force or something like that.
I know, it's all kind of funny.
So everyone goes out and meets up with the Speed Force, and
Right.
Barry's like, haha, guess what? I gotta go. And
Forever.
yeah, he just like happily jumps into the Speed Force.
Yeah.
And
I felt like Garrick should have just jumped back in.
Yeah.
But technically, the Speed Force came out and approached Barry.
right, they were like,
So,
it's your
yeah.
time.
Showed up as his mother.
Yes.
The Speed Force.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it was super frustrating because
Yeah.
the whole season he's like so wrapped up in saving Iris and
Yep.
so wrapped up about the future and like, you know, I need to save her so we can have a future and everything. He just like easily and quickly accepts. I
This
gotta.
is my fate.
Yeah,
I
we're
gotta
not
go
getting
to-
married anymore.
Yeah, see you later.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't mind breaking her heart as long as
Yeah.
she's
Right.
alive.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
It's
frustrating.
really frustrating.
Yeah, it's just like
I mean, they did. So, like, you know, Iris, again, pretty self-aware. Like, they said all the things that I was thinking, like, you know, we just spent all this time trying to rescue you. I think Joe said it. And or trying to rescue Iris, and we should have been focused on rescuing you. And then Iris is like, Jay said he was in hell when he was in there. And then the Speed Force, as Barry's mom, is like, Barry's not going to hell. We just need someone in here who, like, will keep the balance or whatever they're talking about.
whatever crazy
But
thing.
Barry's just like, you know, he basically accepts it as his fate because of him traveling in time and creating Flashpoint.
Yes.
And creating the trap.
That's
Like
right. That's
creating
what it
this
was. It was
thingy.
Flashpoint. Right. So Flashpoint is where kind of everything started. It's where Savitar came from. And that's why Barry just willingly is like, sorry, guys, like, I have to go away forever.
Yeah.
And it's just such an extreme, like, you go through this whole season of all this build up to the moment with Savitar and Iris. You finally get out of that and breathe, and then they like smack you in the face with.
And they make it seem like he knew all along.
That's what felt weird about it.
Yeah.
I think if he was more distraught, it might have been even better.
Right.
Like, it'd be really emotional, but it would feel more realistic
Yeah.
rather than like.
Almost wish they took
See
him.
you later, guys.
Yeah, like you almost.
Oh, that'd be sweet if
You know
they
what I mean?
if they
If
came in
like
and just
dragged him in.
Yeah.
because
I
that
would-
would
And it was
leave-
something real fast like that, and you're
Yeah.
like, "What's going on?"
That's what I
Yeah.
love when it's a really good finale
Yeah.
where you don't know like
Yes.
wants you to
Yeah.
come back next season. Next season I'm coming back just because I've been watching it the whole time. But that's
That
a great
definitely
idea if
would've
they
been
just
better.
pull them.
Yeah.
I hate when we write a better.
I
ending.
know.
to-
Let's just that's the new ending, and we'll
I'm
think
saying,
about that next
This
season.
happened with The Walking Dead too, man.
Yeah.
I'm saying like, I wish it was that because I think that is what bothered me ultimately is that he was so like he said all his goodbyes to everyone, and you know he's not going to be gone.
Yeah,
Like,
obviously.
obviously he's gonna come
'cause
back.
Why would they have another season?
Yeah,
Obviously,
so
but
like, why do I have to see Iris so sad after she finally didn't die?
I'm curious what the reason's going to be that he can get out of there, that he can come back.
no, for sure. Like, I'm not gonna not watch it. It's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
definitely,
still intriguing in that sense.
yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite shows to watch.
Yeah,
so.
but it's not a huge cliffhanger like I personally.
and there were
enjoy,
just
but-
better options. I
Yeah.
really like I said, when the sky started going crazy and all the lightning, because that looked cool. I
Yeah.
wish they were just like, what is that? And then end it.
Yeah.
So you don't know what it is. Or for real, if they like dragged him in,
That
then you're
would
like,
be that would be so cool because
There-
I could visualize it. So
right,
well.
me too. There is, I know you've seen it, and I won't say what happens because I'm not trying to like
Spoil thing.
bait and switch and spoil something else. But there is a similar season finale ending to what we're talking about in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
Do you remember there's like a character suddenly gets taken?
Oh yes, yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm talking about?
Yeah, that
Do you remember?
I think I know.
I'll remind you after because I
Yeah,
don't want to give it
it's-
away, but it's
the one
remember.
that. Do we know where they go?
No.
In the next season.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
The best
but when
episode ever.
yes,
Okay.
but when it happens,
yeah.
So when it happens, it's the end of the season, and
yeah,
you're like,
that's
what?
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
literally,
that's how you end
Yeah.
it.
no context.
Mhm.
That's what I picture with Barry.
Yeah.
I wish they did that.
Yeah,
But
it'd be better just to not know.
yeah. So it was such a ups and downs because I loved everything they did, even leading up to the finale. All the stuff where they're trying to, show him mercy and forgiveness, and then they don't, and then the ending battle's great, and then finally the relief, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, ah, come on, wah, wah. Like, so rough. But overall, I still love The Flash.
Yeah, it's still way high up there. It's one of the best shows on TV.
Yeah. Yeah. On TV? I think some people would argue that.
Well, yeah, there's plenty of other shows that are.
I feel like I watch a fraction of what's on.
Yeah,
It's
we
Yeah, if
don't
you're
watch
lucky,
that
a
much TV
fraction.
really. So
I want to watch Legion.
we watch like 3 shows. That's
We
about
watch
it.
like 3. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We really don't watch.
That is a fraction of all
Which is
television
a
right
little
there.
bit funny that you have a pop culture podcast.
Should we try to brand? We do. We've
You only
tried.
watch,
We
like,
steered
3.
away from talking CW shows because when we started, that's like all we talked about.
Yeah, like each episode of the
episode.
podcast,
Yeah.
we were like talking about another show. So.
Yeah. So we've steered away from that. But something like this was like I really wanted to talk this one.
Yeah.
Because this was a cool finale. Yeah, and I want to watch Legion. I was talking
Yeah.
to my friend Brian.
Mhm.
Shout out Brian. I don't know if you listen to this one, but if you do, he said it's really, really good.
I've heard only good things about it.
I trust him.
Mm-hmm.
I trust him. I don't know what it is. Something about his eyes.
I don't know him, so I can't trust him yet.
You know Brian.
Yeah. you
Oh,
do.
that Brian.
My God.
I thought you meant
I
a different
don't know
Brian.
him. I don't know him.
You didn't say last name.
Unbelievable.
I'm sorry.
Trying to
Protect his
protect his
identity.
identity.
Yeah.
I almost said consume his identity, and that's like the opposite.
Weird.
All right, Venom.
I don't know. Yeah, right. All right, that was awesome. I
Mhm.
think we're done with the Flash.
Yes.
I think unfortunately we're also done with Rachel.
That's a funny way of putting it.
I know. It sounded mean, but I'm not kicking you out. You're leaving.
Yeah.
You have responsibilities as an adult.
Hashtag mom life. I feel like I say that a lot.
That's okay. That's
I mean, that's the
you're
life
supposed to
you're living.
reuse hashtags.
And that's a hashtag. I mean, that's a.
and that's a hashtag.
I don't know what
Okay,
else.
that's-
Okay, wait. I was gonna say.
He left the house.
That's a hashtag.
I was gonna say that's a happy hashtag.
That is a hashtag.
I didn't mean to say like hashtag mom life.
Oh,
but
yeah, right. No, I feel you.
It's a happy hashtag.
I do that sometimes
Hashtag happy
too.
hashtag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too many hashtags.
I get what you're saying. So you're clarifying because you don't want to fall into the cliche of being frustrated. as
Yeah,
a
no, I
mom.
am happy to go
Right.
put them to bed now.
Yeah, hang out with your child.
That actually
Simpy.
doesn't really doesn't do justice what I was trying to say.
It's amazing. Oh, it's so good. All right, we'll let you go. We're going to continue. Thank you for coming on the podcast again.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. That's all we can do.
That probably sounds weird on this mic.
Yeah.
Clink clink.
Okay, bye, Rachel.
See ya.
Bye.
What are we doing now?
I guess we're going into games.
Okay.
Okay.
Video games.
All right.
Are we in video games?
We are in games, my
Okay.
friend.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great.
So E3 finished up.
I'm mad.
Why?
Not about E3, just about
Oh.
video games.
Why?
Because I tried to play Evil Within the other day, and my
Mhm.
internet was being wonky, and I couldn't upload my saved data because I was on someone else's console. I've been trying to beat that game forever.
You know how much of a first world problem that sounds?
I know. It is. I'm just mad.
It's really funny because back in the day when you had to I mean like friggin' 3 years ago, to move saves you needed like a USB drive or something, but now
Yeah.
it's all saved in the cloud. So it's like it's funny when technology fails you in such an advanced way where you're like, there's no way this could ever fail me, and then
Yeah,
it fails
and
you.
then it does.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's real depressing.
All right, so E3's over.
Yes, E3 finished up.
Mm-hmm.
Not a very good E3
Really?
overall. I think Nintendo killed it. I think they,
Yeah.
in my opinion, had the best conference just because of all the announcements.
Yeah.
But yeah, not like E3's past.
No.
No.
What left you most disappointed? Like lack of good game announcements in general?
Generally they have like mic drop moments where just like, guess what's coming out? Kingdom Hearts 3 today. Like
Yeah,
something
right.
crazy like that. Nothing really. There wasn't
Yeah.
anything released on the day. There were a lot of cool announcements, like a good handful. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just spoiled by all the past ones that.
Yeah.
But that being said, there were a lot of good announcements. You
Yeah.
know? There was kind of a mic drop moment in the Nintendo conference, which I'll talk about. But so last 2 weeks ago, I guess, when we had the podcast, I ended off on Ubisoft, I believe.
Yes.
So that conference was going on as we were talking. So I'm just going to say there's a Mario and Rabbids. Do you know what the Rabbids are?
Yeah.
There's a Mario and Rabbids crossover game coming out.
What?
It looks really good.
Weird.
Like really, really good.
On the Switch?
Yeah, on the Switch. So it's Ubisoft and Nintendo working together to make this like collab game.
What's like the game style? Is it like a Mario game?
No, it's way, way like out of the realm of Nintendo.
Weird.
Yeah, it's a tactical third person just third person shooter.
What?
Yeah, I know. So Mario and the Rabbids have guns, and they have to defeat other Rabbids and combinations of Mario creatures and Rabbids into like bosses and stuff. But have you ever played XCOM or heard of XCOM?
I have heard of it. I've never played it, actually.
How about Fire Emblem?
Yeah.
Okay, have you played Fire Emblem?
No.
Okay, so it's like grid format where you have like so many steps to move your characters, and within those steps you
like
have
Banner
to,
Saga?
Kinda actually, yeah, where you
Okay.
had to like, you have to move your character to a certain spot. You have like 5 steps or whatever.
Yeah.
And within those 5 steps, you can attack someone. You can go to hide behind cover, like do different things.
Yeah.
So that's the type of game. It's really weird,
That is so weird.
but it looks really cool. Like just the combos you can do, and the Mario with guns is incredible. It's the first time you've ever seen him with a gun, other than I guess like the Mario movie. But it's not like, don't think like assault rifle. It is Mario-ified.
That's immediately what I thought.
Yeah, like no, it's totally cartoonish.
Is it like in
and
Sunshine where he's got a super soaker?
close. They made him look more gun-like though.
More gunny.
Yeah, like maybe like the portal gun,
Okay.
like that. So,
Like
but
the
yeah,
fart gun from Despicable Me?
yes, actually, kind of like that.
Nice.
So yeah, that was just a surprise announcement because I mean, there were rumors that it was coming out and stuff, but nobody knew what type of game it was going to be.
That is so weird.
So that was a surprise. Like
what a curveball.
Yeah, and the only really other one I want to talk about from Ubisoft is Beyond Good and Evil 2.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
They announced that a few years ago. They just had this little trailer, and they're like,
I don't know anything.
We're working on it. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to. But then they released a new trailer, and it looks really, really good.
Yeah?
There's no gameplay. It's all like CG and
Sure.
stuff, so there's not much to go on, but it's really exciting for them to have some more proof that it's coming out.
Yeah,
that
right.
they're working on it. Did you ever play the first one?
Sitting on my Xbox. I
That's
haven't
one
played
you
it yet.
really, really got to play.
Yeah.
It's a good game. And it's funny because it's certainly in that PS2 time where you played all those adventure games like Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank. It's like fits right in, but it was just one that was kind of pushed to the side. Like people still remember it and talk about it, but it's not as big as any of those.
Yeah, I've always known it to be like kind of a cult classic
Mhm.
where like it did get a little bit overlooked, but
Mhm.
then now it's one that people talk about who like I know are really picky with games and will
Mhm.
say like, no, that game is amazing.
Yeah, it just had such a variety of gameplay. Like there's space missions, there's racing, there's action, there's photography. There's like just
Interesting.
such a variety of things you can do. So it was really interesting to see
That's cool.
more of that. So,
Yeah. I'll have to check that out for sure. It's definitely in my log, my
Yes.
backlog. Yeah.
Speaking of backlog, Sony's conference went on.
Okay.
They announced a certain game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna go with that first. Shadow of the Colossus remake.
Oh, I saw that.
That is huge. That is
Massive.
It's crazy. They are rebuilding it from the ground up. It's a studio that has had remakes in the past. I don't know what else they've done, but they traditionally take like the base files and just remake it. So it's not a remaster like they did on PS3. It is like a whole, basically in a sense, a new game.
Huh.
What they're doing like with Crash Bandicoot.
Okay.
Doing like super HD, like 4K-ifying it and stuff. So that's super exciting just because of the potential of them adding some of the Colossus that were taken out of the game originally. Because those files exist still, and they like the only reason they didn't add them in was time. Like Sony wanted to get the game out there. So instead of having the complete product, they were like, okay, we can send it out with however many Colossus there are, 16 or whatever. So it leads to a potential of having more bosses, having more bonus features added and stuff. So that's very exciting to see.
Man, I cannot wait.
Yeah, and I'll take any excuse to play that game again.
I know, that's the thing. Like, you could just be like, oh, it has like 3 extra pixels in the entire game. And
I'll
I'd be
take
like,
it.
well, I better play it again. Like,
Got to find those pixels, don't I?
oh man, that's exciting.
So that probably one of the biggest announcements. A lot of
Yeah.
the other announcements were games that are already announced, but they had gameplay for. So God of War 4, Detroit Become Human, which that one's just from the guy who did Heavy Rain,
Okay.
Beyond Two Souls.
Is Heavy Rain the vampire one?
No, which one's the vampire one?
What's Heavy Rain?
Heavy Rain's the serial killer, the origami killer, and you play as 4 different people, and the decisions you make in that game, if your character dies, they die for good. Like
What the hell? That sounds awesome.
it's one of the best PS3 games I ever played. It was really, really, really good.
Whoa.
But it's all button sequences. The whole game is just like
Oh, okay.
there are some like point and click elements like Telltale games, but
Yeah.
a lot of it is just like quick motions, and like if you mess up the button sequence, that's it, your character's dead. You have to go through the rest of the game with the other 3 characters. Like
That's wacky.
yeah. I can't imagine that game with any of the
Okay.
characters dead because
That's
there's so much
cool.
story. Anyways, the guy making it, David Cage, I think his name is.
Okay.
He has a legacy for making very awesome story-driven games. So that had gameplay. Days Gone. I always get choked up talking about E3. I think it's because I talk so much in a row. But Days Gone they showed. And the other biggest thing was Spider-Man not Homecoming, Spider-Man PS4 gameplay.
Okay. There
so
was
this-
gameplay for it.
Yeah, so this is the PS4 only Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
Being made by Insomniac,
Okay.
which did Sunset Overdrive.
Yes.
So
That's
it's
right.
yeah.
How's it look?
Amazing.
Yeah.
It looks very fluid. Definitely getting a Batman, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City
Okay.
vibe. You know, there's a lot of stealth segments, but he can totally go in and beat the crap out of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. It's a level. It's a mission, so you don't really get much of the free like
Free
webbing.
roaming
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Okay.
But what you see is amazing. Like graphically awesome. Seems like it'll be a pretty cool story. It's a new guy I've never heard of. White something. I don't know. He's a guy that like looks like a ghost and can like consume people and like take them over.
The villain?
Yeah. Mr. Negative, I think is his name.
I don't know.
I don't know. He's a newer villain, I guess. But they're going their own story, like not going along with the movie or whatever.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. So yeah, that was really cool to see the game.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely stoked on that.
But yeah, just PlayStation wasn't. It was cool to see all the games and all the gameplay and the few like small announcements, but
Sure.
nothing amazing. But Nintendo,
Oh, snap.
oh hot bananas!
About to get so real.
So they started off by showing Xenoblade Chronicles 2,
Okay.
cool RPG. Not too much to say about that. Never played it myself.
All right.
There is a new Kirby Switch game coming out.
Sweet.
Looks really cool.
Sweet.
Looks like in the style of Nintendo 64 Kirby, where you can combine powers and use them to do stuff, which Kirby 64 is like the best Nintendo 64 game. So,
Ever.
pretty close.
Ever.
And then they announced a new Pokemon mainline RPG for the Switch, which when they had that Pokemon Direct a while ago,
Yeah.
and they never announced anything for it, people were flipping out. So I think they threw it in there to be like, we are working on one. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. And then they announced Metroid Prime 4. Hands down, one of the most exciting announcements of all E3.
Glorious announcements.
It was so beautiful.
Was it?
It was. There's no gameplay. No gameplay.
No gameplay?
No gameplay. Nothing like that. But there is a title, and that's good enough.
It exists.
It's so exciting to know it's being made.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they after the whole conference ended,
Yeah.
the Nintendo conference, like an hour later, they have their Treehouse thing, which they just show off all the games coming out, like gameplay and stuff.
Okay.
So during that, they like quietly announced there's a new Metroid 2 remake being made for the 3DS coming out this year.
What?
Yeah. So Metroid 2 was only on the Game Boy. Nobody really liked it very much. I guess it was pretty bad. But it's funny because a lot of people think Super Metroid's the second Metroid, but
It's not.
yeah, Metroid 2: The Return of Samus is the second Metroid game.
Huh,
But
interesting.
so yeah, they're doing a remake for that. So it's 2 Metroid games, which we haven't heard of one in like, I don't know, 7 years or something.
What was the last one? Other M?
I guess so. There was Other M, and then they came out with Metroid Federation Force, which was that stupid soccer It was a 3DS.
What?
It was a 3DS Metroid soccer game where you played as like guys in mech suits.
Weird.
It was so stupid. So anyways, it's showing that they're really listening to the fans. That it's going to be on the Switch, not the remake. The remake's 3DS. So that was really exciting. And then they showed off a new Yoshi game coming to the Switch. So it's really cool to see all these games that they're working on.
Yeah.
Because with the Wii U they were very sparse with their releases.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll be interested to see what happens with the Switch because they're doing what they do with every console, which they put out their Zelda game, their Yoshi game, their Mario game, their Kirby game.
Yeah.
Metroid isn't always one, but they're finally doing a new one.
Yeah. But it seems like these games are coming out over time.
Okay. So over time, like, what do you mean?
Like, I feel like they're steadily releasing the game. So, like, in January, we'll get Yoshi, and then in, like, May, we'll get Kirby. Like,
no, for sure. I just wonder, like, it's weird. It's this weird thing with Nintendo where they just kind of, I don't mean this in a negative way, but they just cash in on the same characters over and over again.
It's not bad, but it is true. They only have, like, I don't know, 10 or so like franchises.
Yeah.
And like how many times can we see a new Yoshi game on a console or whatever?
And I mean, it's brilliant. They're always really good. Like I'm always stoked to play a new Mario game, a new Yoshi game.
And they have more than 10 franchises. I just want to say they have a lot of franchises. But
I guess my thing is like, there's so many new games that come out for PlayStation or for Xbox. The only thing I can think of on the Wii U that felt like a new, like they were introducing a new property was it Inkling?
Splatoon?
Splatoon, yeah.
Yes.
What is it, the Inkling? Is that what the thing's called?
Yeah, they're
okay.
Inklings.
That's what I'm picturing.
Splatoon 2 is coming out next month for the Switch. So
yeah, see, I feel like that was the first time in a long time that I was like, oh, this is like a new Nintendo thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's something like you can put it together with all the other characters.
Yeah, and it makes sense. And
so I think that's what they're trying to do. They just came out recently with ARMS on the Nintendo Switch, which I think is their Splatoon for the Switch. At least for now, it's a new franchise they want to start, which is cool. It's all goofy characters, totally Nintendo vibe. So that's exciting. But I'm just really glad that they have all these games in development.
Yeah,
like with the Wii U, we had no idea what was being made. We didn't know if anything was being made, and because they didn't have the third-party support that PlayStation and Xbox has, it was like a dry console. We got indies like once a week. We got like one or two new indie games, but none of them were like big, awesome indie games.
Yeah, nothing huge.
So that's what was the best part about this is they're like, hey, we have all this. Let's show you. They might not come out for like 3 years, but
but they're being made.
They're all being made. So, yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Cool.
And then they ended it off with my hands down, I know for sure is going to be like one of my favorite games of all time, Super Mario Odyssey. Odyssey, yes. So that's the name of the newest Mario. I'd like to call it Super Mario Adventure because it looks like Sonic Adventure, but
with Mario?
With Mario.
That's like your dream.
It is my dream. It has the varied worlds. I can't explain. It's something you have to witness, but they showed off like one of the newest, biggest mechanics of the game, which is Mario's hat is alive. You know how it's got eyes and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, it's a ghost hat, and you can possess anything in that game. Objects, people, enemies.
What?
So that's the big draw of the game. So they had gameplay where he throws his hat at a bullet bill, and now you're a bullet bill flying through the level, like hitting things, doing whatever you got to do. Goomba, people, pipes, like anything you possess, and they each have their own function and action. So that's huge. That's
crazy cool.
It's so cool because they're like reinventing Mario. They're doing a whole new thing. The environments look awesome. And it has I'm just so excited. It has a new theme song, which this week I'm gonna dedicate my Sonic music to the Mario Odyssey theme song because it's amazing.
It's time to jump up in the air. Jump up, don't be scared. Jump up and your cares will soar away. And if the dark clouds start to swirl, don't feel a shed a tear, 'cause I'll be your one-up girl. So let's all jump up super high up in the sky. It's no power up like dancing.
Really?
It is so good.
That good?
Yeah, well, it's like a poppy, like a fun tune, but it's just I'm in love with it. Just seeing the gameplay, it's hands down. Already pre-ordered. I'm sitting at the mailbox every day waiting for it.
Man, that's exciting.
I am sold. So if you get a chance, watch some gameplay for it.
I will for sure as soon as possible.
That blew me away. I'm like, this is everything I wanted.
That's cool.
So, and on top of that, there was another new Nintendo announcement today. No relation to E3, but they announced the Super Nintendo Classic.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. Which they came out last year with the NES Classic, which I think it came with 30 games pre-installed on the system, but it's just a emulated NES.
Yeah.
So it's a small version of NES, but you can use an original controller and play these emulated games.
And it was all like the greatest titles.
It's the greatest hits. You know, they had Super Mario Bros. They had Metroid. They had
Contra.
Zelda, Contra. And it's funny because they had a lot of third-party type games on that. Like, not just Nintendo games. Like you said, Contra. That's all Konami. So,
yeah, right.
So that was really, really cool. Sold out instantly.
Gone.
And they stopped production like 5 months after.
Crazy.
So that thing is such a rare item now. And it's almost kind of stupid because you can just make your own emulator. You can emulate these.
Right.
You know, that's exactly what it is. It's just an emulator, but
Right.
just for Nintendo games. So today they announced the Super Nintendo Classic. What's the list of games,
Oh, man.
my friend?
It literally gets better the further you go.
Oh, yeah. No, you read the list and then I'll say
all
what
right.
it
Now,
says.
can you play cartridges in this as well?
No,
You can't.
it's
Okay.
just a self-contained console.
All right. So the games you get:
Mm-hmm.
Contra 3: The Alien Wars,
Nice.
Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound,
Oh, that's huge
huge.
just by itself.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 3,
Mm-hmm.
F-Zero,
Nice.
Kirby Superstar,
Oh my god.
Kirby's Dream Course,
Oh, that's fun.
The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past,
Oh, huge again.
Mega Man X.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because that's Capcom and it's totally Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So
Secret of Mana,
nice,
Star Fox,
nice.
Star Fox 2.
Which the huge draw to that is Star Fox 2 was never released. The game was 98% complete, but they stopped production on it because the Nintendo 64 was coming out.
No way.
So the only way you could play it was to download it illegally off emulators.
What?
Yeah, so people are freaking out because this is a chance for an average consumer to play Star Fox 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, because the Nintendo 64 came out, they're like, nobody's gonna play this, so stop wasting your time. Let's put that on the Nintendo 64. So Star Fox 2 is actually think a dumbed down version of Star Fox 64. Same,
Weird.
you travel to planets, you go to the same planets. There's still Andross, there's still all these things.
No way.
But it's just in Super
That's
Nintendo.
super funny.
So
That's an interesting draw right there.
I mean, right there, that people will spend hundreds of dollars to just play that.
And was Earthbound ever released in America?
Yes, it was.
It was,
But
okay.
it's rare. So.
Yeah. So that's cool. Star Fox 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Super Castlevania 4,
Cool.
Super Ghouls and Ghosts,
Nice.
Super Mario Kart,
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Super Metroid, there has to be.
Super Mario World,
Uh-huh.
Super Metroid.
Nice. That right there is reason enough.
Super Punch Out,
Nice.
and Yoshi's Island.
Hey, that's a beautiful list.
It's an insane list. That's crazy.
So the console itself is going to be $80 initially when it gets released. And it comes with a Super Nintendo controller that you just plug right in.
Yep.
But man, because just the value of those games, even if you got 2 or 3 of them, you'd probably already surpass $80.
Yeah.
There are some
I'm
that
sure.
are cheap on not cheap, but just you can get them for cheap. You know, they're not cheaply made games, but you get
Yeah,
them for
right,
cheap.
right.
But Earthbound, super expensive. Star Fox 2 never released, so that
Right.
right there is $80 alone. Incredible.
Yeah.
But we'll see if we can get it.
I know. That's the thing.
That is the thing. It's-
Now, Super Nintendo, I go back and forth between Super Nintendo and PS2 being my favorite generation of games, like my favorite consoles. I would love to get this one because it's like...
that is the greatest hits. It's the
Dude.
essentials. I feel like you really don't miss out on anything else if you get that.
so
And that's
good.
perfect. Like I said, for the average consumer, for the people who don't have the older consoles or the money for it, it's perfect. You can get
Yeah.
your classic nostalgic fix for a modest price. You know,
I feel like everything like Super Nintendo, I feel like is when things started getting real.
that is the moment I think where gaming really turned. Like that's when it became serious. When it was like this is the moment.
Super
'Cause then-
Metroid.
Yeah, just
And Super Mario World, dude. I played that game like crazy, and I would love to just play through them all again. It's
just
exciting.
listening to it, like it's awesome.
Serious list. That's exciting.
So I'm on a Nintendo high right now.
Yeah.
Anything Nintendo, I'm like, gimme, you know.
So great.
So
Have you ever looked up on YouTube like the greatest Rocket League goals and saves?
no, but I've certainly seen GIFs all over the place.
Dude, it's mental. Because last week I was in Philadelphia for a weekend, and me and my friends that I was with, we played some Rocket League. And I'm pretty new at it. Like I've played it before, but not a whole lot. And I was getting better as we played more. I started off real bad.
Rocket
And,
League's a little tough to get used to.
It's
at
hard,
first.
but I started kind of understanding the dynamics a little better, and they're way better than me.
Yeah.
But he was like, dude, I got to show you something. And my friend Nick pulled up all of these like videos that I can't even believe.
They are like almost as exciting as like the last year's Super Bowl.
Right. It's like watching, you're like, and watching the videos, like so many of the videos, I was like, what? No, what's he? Oh, like how?
There's
did
no
he-
way he's a mile away.
Dude,
He'll never catch up.
I don't understand how. And for anyone who doesn't know, Rocket League is a game where you basically play soccer with little race cars.
That's really it.
That's pretty much it. Like you play as a car hitting a giant ball, and you basically can jump and boost and drive all over the walls and the ceiling.
Yep.
And watching people line up their shots from across the like field or court or whatever you're playing in, and it's just like amazing. It's
Yeah.
seriously like watching a sports highlight reel.
It
where
is.
You're like,
it's
how?
like it's the best thing about sports. Crazy madness, like awesome shots.
It's
like
so
it is-
crazy.
It's everything you want in sports.
Oh man, that's probably the last game I played, and it just popped into my head.
That's okay.
I don't know why.
I'm glad you thought about it.
I'm glad you're glad.
Rocket League's on Switch, or it's going to be on the Switch.
Really?
Yeah. Which that's pretty cool because you
Yeah.
can bring the Switch anywhere, so you can have Rocket League anywhere.
I want to play Rocket League. I got nothing else in games. so-
I'm all set too. I just on my Nintendo high. Man, I did get a gaming PC.
I am looking at it right now.
I just got it. I've been setting it up all day. It's been downloading all the games, so I gotta wait. But
What are you downloading?
Battlegrounds,
Okay.
which is like the huge game right now. It's like the CS:GO, of the world.
Yeah.
And it looks really cool. It's like a third-person survival game where 100 people get dropped off on this island, and you have to survive till number one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the there's like this death wall that's slowly coming in the whole time, so you have to like work your way towards the center, and then however many people, there's like a big battle royale at the end. So, but it's huge. Like to have one win in that game is like an achievement. Like you're not a gamer unless you can have one win in that
Oh
game.
man.
So that's where it is right now. I'm super excited to play it. I feel like it's a fad though. Like I feel like it's gonna unfortunately die out. Not soon, but just eventually.
It will.
Yeah. But I'm jumping on the hype train right now.
And then if you die, do you just start a new round kind of thing?
Yeah, you have
or-
to. If you want the XP, you have to sit there and finish the match. So if you're one of the first guys dead, it sucks. You have to sit there
rough.
for however long, 15, 20 minutes, however long the match takes. So you definitely don't want to die
That's
right off
harsh.
the bat. But you could always quit and just ignore the XP.
Yeah.
But there's no reason,
Right.
So yeah,
Man, that's a gnarly PC though.
yeah, I'm pretty excited. Hopefully it works.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a cyber power PC. It's I got it like pre-built. So
Okay.
but yeah, my intention wasn't to play anything big like Call of Duty or anything. I want to play the indie games and just the cool PC only stuff. So
I want to play Diablo.
Diablo's cool. That's on consoles.
You're on consoles.
Thanks. Sonic Adventure's on it. I downloaded it already.
Really?
Yeah. That was one of the first ones. I'm like, any console I own in my life has to have Sonic
Yeah,
Adventure
yeah,
on it.
yeah.
So,
I know that about you.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's it for me.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else either. This was a lengthy one.
This
I feel
what?
like.
I don't know.
I don't know how long we've been going, but
10 years?
Whew.
It's good though. I felt like this one was really good. Like I don't feel like I messed up that much. You did awesome as usual. So
Oh, thanks. Yeah, no, this was really fun. We had a week off, so I think I was like anxious to get back. And
yeah,
record again.
absolutely.
I never do this, but well, not never, but I often forget. You should follow us on Instagram. You should. What are we on Instagram? You've been using it a lot.
The Keep Up.
Just the Keep Up.
I don't think we're the HQ. The Keep Up.
Are we the HQ anywhere?
Twitter.
Oh, but we never use Twitter.
I know. I feel bad. There are people who tweet us on Twitter.
Yeah. We're gonna get better at that.
We keep saying that. We've been saying that for like 2 years.
It doesn't make it not true. I never say when.
There's always the intention to do it, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
follow us on YouTube. We are the Keep Up VE.
Yes, and Tim has been getting out these videos.
Yeah, I do 2 a week now. So check him out. Right now, I posted 48 and 49. So next week, this Saturday, will be podcast 50 and 51.
Cool.
50 is a huge one.
That's a big one.
Yeah, I think it's over 2 hours. 2 hours and
Is
18
it?
minutes or something.
Yeah.
So that'll be a long video, and yeah, you guys
Cool.
keep watching.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more on the YouTube channel soon. The Keep Up VE. Go find us over there.
Yep.
And subscribe on iTunes if you haven't yet. And if you could leave us a review, that would be super radical.
Yeah, that was huge for Brett when he was kind of upset about the podcast. And when anybody says anything positive or even negative, as long as people are listening and give us any kind of feedback, we'll take anything.
Yep.
It's greatly appreciated. I love.
Did I? I don't even know if I finished my sentence earlier.
You didn't. I was gonna bring it back up, and then we just got way out of place.
What did I even say?
So you were talking about your
how Katrina said something.
yeah.
Oh, weird.
And you were like, shout out, and then we went way off, you know.
We got to do this whole episode over again.
Okay, we'll start from the top.
Yeah, what I was trying to say was Katrina reached out and said she enjoyed the podcast, and
We were talking about the stupid question with the knife, or not the knife,
yeah,
the
the
ice.
icicle.
Yeah.
And she said since she was a kid, that was which was kind of a morbid statement that she's had a murder weapon choice since she was a kid.
No,
but
that's smart.
yeah, it's just good planning is all. But yeah, thank you for that feedback, Katrina. And any feedback you guys want to give, we haven't done live the past couple episodes. I'd like to start doing it again, but I had nothing planned for this week.
Me neither. We suck at it.
And
that's fine. We'll get back into the groove of doing all that.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, reach out. You can also email us at thekeepup@yahoo.com. And I don't
Facebook.
know.
Follow us on Facebook. That seems to be where we see the most. You can message us there. You can write on our wall. Do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
And we're just the Keep Up on Facebook.
Just the Keep Up.
Just the Keep Up.
Okay, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching or listening.
Thank you for listening and watching.
And see you next time.
Now here's a question. If you combine your pinkies, do you just get a thumb? I mean, honestly, they're like 2 small thumbs. My pinkies are kind of weird because they're like crooked.
You're super weird.
You can call me crack pinks. And it's funny because some people who enjoy crack have long pinky nails, so I don't want to be called crack pinks. But it's nonsensical to think there's sense in my nonsensical statements. I don't want to be called pink crack. Thanks for watching.